have like a good Steve Harvey impression, and he does that like, name one thing your girlfriend would like to do to your face, and someone's like, sit on it, Steve, and he's like, sit on it, and like all of a sudden I'm like on the stump and I just say that and it like goes viral. I'm like, okay, I can do this forever.
Are we rolling right now? Let's just start. I was talking with her. Yeah. I heard people change their flights
to
stay here. Glennie and Jack Mack were supposed to go somewhere, and they were like, I gotta stay here to see the Rizzler.
That's totally crazy. I didn't even know he was like a big deal, if I'm being honest.
We're gonna go here.
Oh, hey.
We're talking
you?
Rizzler.
Good. Woo. I'm excited. Guys, remember when I was in here?
I don't know what that was.
I was in here once.
So, funny enough.
I'm like, come on.
Funny
you guys
enough.
didn't know my name.
Yo, for real.
I was taking notes.
Yo, it's so funny you say that because, yeah, when we used to have someone sit in to like take notes, she was out for a while, and they were like, this girl's gonna fill in, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
Which I've never, like, I had no clue. I was just like making videos, and all of a sudden Chuck's like, they need you in there. I was like, oh god. It was scary.
Well, so we're like, I don't know, I'm thinking you're just like an intern or third floor or whatever, and then I find out you're like the most popular person on the internet. And I was like,
what were you thinking sitting there?
Oh my god.
Were you like, why am I here?
I was literally like, I could be making so much content not in this room.
Totally.
And then like just like watching you guys, it was like laughing, and then I was freezing because it's always cold in here. And then like you guys didn't even know, I mean, not that like you needed to know who I was, and at the time I was probably less like known, but I was just
you
like
were pretty well
here,
known,
I was just
though. Just like not in my circle though. So when I found out like people, so then Dave told that whole story about the girls who came up to me and said, I love Moobs, and who's Moobs? He works for you. No, he doesn't, blah, blah, blah. So then I find out, and I was like,
you're like, that was her?
Notes girl. She's like more famous than us, dude. Why was she doing that?
Which is also just an unnecessary job no matter who you are.
I was literally like, what? I was like taking 2 pages worth of notes on like the most random, like I remember the stories you were telling. I'm like trying to keep track.
We already say it that like, we recorded it. We recorded
We have a record of all this.
Yeah,
so we're going to share it with everyone tomorrow.
So let me clear that up. Let me clear that up. That's not our idea. Never was. And was probably just the thing that the previous person was doing to just mail it in.
Yeah.
And because that was not working for social media.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know what was going on. We were just like, I don't know, the social media team does their thing and that's it.
Yeah.
And then I found out that like the most popular person on the internet was just taking notes for us. And I was like, oh my God.
I remember when you texted, I was back at school, and I was like, well, now I'm back at school.
Yeah.
So.
I just found out you're, incredible. Do you want to like come on? She's like, I'm back at school. I was like,
fuck.
So now you're here, doing something.
Where was school?
Marist College.
Marist.
So it's
Marist was I want to say maybe, well, you would know better, but at least in the New York area, the first blackout stop that was like, holy fucking
you guys
shit.
used to go. Dave said you guys had to stop doing it because someone like fell off the railing.
Yeah,
I
think Marist, they broke through the barrier.
It's honestly
and, like,
all
flooded
such
the stage.
a blur for
That's
me.
Like they just all ran on stage, and it was like the security was like, I don't know, it's over. Like we lost control. It's their show now.
Yeah, that was like, I think it got canceled. It was but Marist is definitely one that people throw out as like one. But to me, like all I remember, Miami of Ohio is the only one that I have like a definitive like that happened at this place. Right. Everything else is just like
I remember hearing
we were at some
like,
fucking party somewhere.
New York doesn't have like major party schools, but like they do. You know which ones are big. I always heard about like Albany and Buffalo and blah blah. And then I heard about Marist, and I was like, for real, Marist?
Yeah,
huh?
we can party. We're good. It's like every Long Island girl, every New Jersey girl, like all, and
that's really what it is.
We all go to the same Irish pub every weekend, and like actually, it's like open till 4 a.m. Every drink's a double. Like bad stuff happens in there, but it's so fun, truly.
Did you graduate? Did you leave?
Graduated. I was like, I'm gonna get that
she went
degree.
back to school this past year.
I just graduated in May.
You just graduated.
And that was always like
she
as an
didn't
intern.
need to do that.
I guess, but I was like, I'm gonna finish because I also was an athlete. I played Division I lacrosse.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I gotta like I want to just like finish it out, and then I'll hang the cleats up and like never touch them again. But I really wanted to just like do it, have my senior day. I mean, like I was.
Are you gonna be real with that? Like you're really never gonna play again?
I mean, my sister. So I live with my sister, and she's like all about. She's the most competitive person literally ever. She's like, let's join the Volo leagues. Like, have ever like Volo volleyball? We do like tennis, like her hangover recovery is like tennis at the pier. I'm like, please no.
Speaking of, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The at the U.S. Open last night, there was a lot of propaganda going around where everywhere there would be signs and like they'd come up like in play, like they'd have like like the electronic scoreboards and stuff like that. The average tennis player lives 9.7 years longer than the average person.
What?
And I was like, well, that's such bullshit because that's because they're rich. And they go to doctors and stuff. They don't. It's not because they play tennis. It's because they play tennis because they're rich and healthy.
Well, they're also. I mean, you could probably say that about like any athlete. I'm sure all the athletes are fucking.
But I don't think they're talking about like
they're just talking about the average person at the country club,
a tennis player. But even like someone who just regularly plays tennis is fucking someone who takes goes to doctors, has money to join a club.
At the U.S. Open,
tennis.
yeah.
Like it's not like because they fucking go out and play tennis once a week, they're living an extra 10 goddamn years. That's crazy.
That might be a fake stat, yeah. But lacrosse is also hard to you're not playing like pickup lacrosse.
No,
it's not like a.
It's like it would
club
be
league, right?
Yeah, no, it would be just like a bunch of graduated girls wanting to pick up their second yet, and I don't really have a desire to do that yet.
Yeah,
I
feel
need
like
a
when
break.
you're at the end, if you didn't play sports, would you have done your senior year, or would you have just started working?
I don't know, because I love my senior year. It was so nice finishing. I think I would have regretted not getting my degree. It's just nice to have. I don't know. I mean, not that I'm not using it at all.
At all.
You say someone without one.
It really doesn't.
You don't need
it. And as someone with multiple, it doesn't.
Also, I sucked. I wasn't a good student, so it really was. It was more just to have another year with my friends.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Live under the same.
You have
roof.
the rest of your life to work and all that shit.
The lifestyle was just great. In college.
Also, you basically still doing your content. It's not like you have to stop.
Literally, and it excelled me more because it was back to school. Now I'm going out more, and I was and I felt because I was on salary at school in Poughkeepsie, and I was literally I'm the richest man on the planet.
Yeah.
I was shots on me. Yeah, literally, it was so at the Irish pub. I'm on me. It was literally the best thing ever.
That's crazy.
$1 beers, I'll buy 1 million.
Yeah, literally. So that was just fun.
I remember when my brother first came back to when I was still in school, and I think it was $4 pitchers. And it was the whole gang's bill was $300.
Yeah.
He's I got this. And we were oh shit.
He's big.
I had that one time. I went to a wedding at Clemson, and it was probably 3 years after college, 2 years after college, something like that. And I was someone's date, and I was living in New York at the time. When I was, so maybe it was right after college, because I was living in New York 21, and I was making no money.
And I
went down there and I was like, guys, tonight's on me. And they're like, 'cause I didn't know how to ingratiate myself to these people. I'd never met them. I was someone's date. And they were just like, this guy's the man. I'm like, I got city money, boys.
So wait, the whole time you were taking those notes, you were like, fuck this?
I was literally what am I doing here? I was just because I wasn't a part of the social, there were social interns who would post on Plan B and post on BFFs and do the things, and then I was being tasked ask you guys questions. I think I asked record you guys and for the social media. No clue. And then I was talking to the person that used to work here, and I was doing her job basically, and texting her, and she was out. I was all over the place.
She was bad.
Yeah, as you can see, that position has not been filled.
Yeah, it's
so
not.
you were underutilized.
But so
literally, what was I doing? I was literally just adding laughter, in the back, quietly.
You did laugh though, and that was nice.
It did make me feel good.
And then one time you were like, "How old do I look?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" This is the one thing he asked me. I was like, "Really? Not even my name?"
You over there?
Yeah, literally. That was literally the craziest thing. I was just like, I have to say yes. I have to say yes.
I mean, in hindsight,
I was stressed. I was stressed.
Yeah, you could. I mean,
if you were like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, we'd have been like, okay.
Honestly, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know what half the people are doing.
That's so funny.
So you are now just doing do you have a show, or are you just doing social media shit?
I don't have a show yet.
You just kind of exist.
So I kind of exist.
I think you should just do that. Are you gonna have a show?
I'm gonna have a show, but I'm not eager to. So I'm going on this college tour, football tour. Cheez-It is sponsoring it. So it's me, Big Ev did it last year, finding the student section of the year sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to a bunch of Big Ten or Big SEC, it's not released where we're going yet, but we're going to the Michigan game, Auburn, all of it.
Right.
So that's 2 weekends in September, October, November, and it's going to be Cheez-It videos being released, and at the same time I think I'm going to do my own long form content, behind the scenes vlog sort of thing. Like, remember the videos like I'm Schmacked? Like, did you ever watch those?
Yeah.
Like when the cameras go off, like
Dude, you remember I'm Schmacked?
Yeah, I used to watch.
I was gonna say, what are you 4?
I was like watching it, like, let's go. I think
She was
I remember.
studying.
Mom Schmacked was like our rival
Mom Schmacked
for the
was
Barstool
20
Blackout
years
tour.
ago.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, that was like 2011. Like I'm Schmacked and Barstool Blackout were like
just
two.
like that vibe. But obviously it's hard because it's like brand. You need to make sure the branded content is good, and then like just going out also alone is a little scary.
Yeah.
So, it's
But
like
you got your partner in crime?
me, Kelly, and then like our cameraman, who I'm like watch. Maybe like punch some people for me if people like come out. I have no clue.
Do you like you'll get swarmed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I went to the Jersey Shore, I was literally.
Yo, it's tough, right?
Oh my god, we went to Jenks, and like I was with my high school friends who like kind of know me as like just they knew me before moves and all that stuff. So I'm like, it might not be that bad. I don't know. Let's just see. I literally walk in, the whole place is like, sit on it. Like I couldn't get, and they're like this big, and like I'm a highlighter head. Like everyone can see me, and I'm tall. I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't get like 2 feet in there. I was like, maybe I need to.
That is that is our demo. The
Yeah.
Jersey Shore. That's a tough spot.
Yeah. Well, then I was like, I'm never going back to Jenks again.
Probably shouldn't go to Jenks anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. It's like the internet has changed enough where it's like I knew this version, you have your version. But I feel like having a show, like a podcast or a specific show, is like not really the route right now.
I
feel like
agree.
just being like on social media and doing like this and that, not being like we're here every Monday and every Thursday. And
I totally agree. I totally agree in the way that podcasts right now are so saturated, and like everyone, like not everyone in the world needs a podcast. I think that like Kelly and I sitting down and talking maybe in a year from now, and like we're gonna rehash the colleges we go to, and like we'll be talking like this, but like why would someone tune in to me and Kelly talking about like,
well,
you know what I mean?
I was gonna say you're at the point like Brianna kind of did it too. It's like you're still in like social party mode, so like do that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think eventually you'll be like, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Totally. I'm gonna
No
talk
matter
about it and
how
be like-
hard you go or how long you can last, but eventually it's like I think I need to, you know.
Brie always says that. She's like, I was the hungover girl, not the party girl. How the fuck did I become that?
I know, or even after graduating, like all of a sudden I go out and then I'm like, oh my god, the hangover is way.
Oh,
like,
fuck off.
I mean, like, I don't, it's kind
You
of
got
like,
at least
kind
like
of.
10 years left in you.
I guess I'm excited to like rev that side up again, but there definitely will be a point where I'm like, okay, maybe I do want to sit down and people will tune in to whatever it will be named. I don't know.
So you started by like Bree kind of started by, I remember like the first time I saw her, she was just like throwing up in a toilet and drinking a blue colada.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the voice thing is what I like first noticed about you, just doing like your weird voice.
like crazy voices.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was just like you were doing that for fun, or like was there like a plan?
There was like never. I mean, there was a plan when it was taking off. So I had like $50K going into the Barstool internship, and then like.
But so before that though, because $50K is a decent number.
Yeah.
Like regular people don't have that.
I was like, so basically started out, I was doing like day in the life videos over music of like a college G1 athlete, like getting ready for game, practice with like aesthetic music, and it was like March 2nd, and it was like me walking, I would like set up the camera and like walk by it and then like redo it. It was like it was a lot of work. And then one day in summer, I was like, I'm sick of just like setting up, I'm gonna talk to the camera. And in that moment, I had this thing of like calling everyone Jim. Like me and my friends were like, come on, Jim. Like, let's 1v1 each other. Like making the light of like terrible Division I practice. Like at 300s, I'm like, come on, Delaney, Jim, let's go. Like everything was Jim. So then I called the camera Jim, sort of like personified them. And then everyone was like, we love you, Jim. Like you're our Jim and I'm Jim. And then I got 10K at the end of that summer going into my junior year. Stuck with it. It was the first time people were like, we love Jim at school. I was like, I have fans? Like, what's happening? At small school at Marist, like everyone sort of like knew about it. Stuck with it. Just sort of like, I had like bad acne at the time. Like just like shedding light at like a bunch of things.
Normal people shit,
Just like talking and like being weird. Caesar salad. I realized I can do that with my lip. Like what I do. So I do like. So I love Caesar salad. Like I really do. And then I'd be like chicken Caesar. And people are like, "What the fuck is this girl? Like what?" So then I got like reached out to by Barstool, and they were like, "You want to be our content intern?" I was like, "Sure, fuck it." And then they were like, "Post 5 times a day and see what you can do." And I was like, "Oh my god, sink or swim in this place." So I just like. Did it
for like
5 times a day is a fucking lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And
it like I sometimes I hate the sink or swim, but it does. You know, people sink or swim.
Yeah.
And like the people who swim are like usually really really good. I think we could probably like foster some other people like a little bit better, but it does just cut right to the chase.
Totally.
And also, I did notice after I put some of the pieces together, like there's a lot of people who come through here and don't do anything, and like you were very like. You had the whiteboard out and you were not afraid and like
that was scary.
And I'm sure it was, but also like I feel like once you're here, I would hope at least you feel silly for being scared because everyone will answer a question or do whatever. And like sometimes there are people who get here and just don't do any of that stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't know, the summer's over, and like you didn't really do anything. So but you definitely stood out that you were one of the people that like at least was trying.
Thank you.
And then come to learn, it's like, oh yeah, she's trying, dude. She's 10 times.
This is busy work.
I'm doing this because somebody told me to. Like, I don't have to do this. I'm gonna go talk about chicken Caesar.
It was such a different time. Like the office was different. We had way more people. It was before the big purge of everyone. I mean, I probably shouldn't say purge, but like it was such a different time, and it was so fun and exciting.
What did you think of all that? I mean, you did kind of start at like right when things got tumultuous and crazy.
It was like I started
worried about it.
No, I wasn't really worried. I mean, I was so worried about, which is like selfish, but like Dave's like all hands meeting. I'm like, I'm fired. It's about me. Like I was like so self-focused, but like it was such a cool time to be here because it was so cool to see it all. And Erica was here, and like. I just remember it's really cool to see how it's like evolved. Obviously now there's less people, and Chicago opened up and like that whole rivalry, whatever it was. But like I was just really observing and taking it in. And then I honestly went back to school, and I was so thankful that they were like, just keep posting at school because like people care about Get Ready With Me's and going out and all that stuff and playing a sport. And I just like did my own thing in my blue house, and like we really like the stump thing and
what's the stump
like,
thing?
Sit on it was all crazy. Like like I had
there's a tree stump that was just like in your front.
Yeah, it was just
lawn,
like in my front yard from the game where you like put a hammer in the nail. I forget what that game's called.
Yeah.
But like I have like a good Steve Harvey impression, and he does that like name one thing your girlfriend would like to do to your face, and someone's like sit on it, Steve, and he's like sit on it, and like all of a sudden I'm like on the stump and I just say that and it like goes viral. I'm like, okay, I can do this forever. Like this is my favorite thing.
Well, that's actually I'm not super well versed in your world, as you are well aware. Like when you're doing 5 a day, say, how many of those do you want to do? How many are you like, fuck yeah, I'm excited to do, or how many are your work? That was
in the 5 a day was mainly when I was an intern here, and it was sort of like I wanted to do it because I wanted people to notice that I was doing a lot.
Right.
A lot of them I wanted to, the ones where I would be like, let's go get a Caesar salad, just salad. That's when I really was like, we're gonna go. I did a lot of more content like out of the office almost. I stayed by the front desk because I was the only people that I was like able to be myself with. Ebony and Tandan
and all that. Yeah. But that was also when I noticed that you. Yeah, what's the security guard you hang out with?
Tandan. Well, it's Dan.
Right, but you made like there are people who kind of just make their own world, and like when I saw that too, it was like those are the people who succeed, where it's like you have nicknames and you have inside jokes and you have your own vocabulary and people want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And it was like there was that little click out there. I was like, this should be a fucking show in its own right.
We would always used to say like the front desk show or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was so thankful that I felt really comfortable to like be myself around them. Granted, like I was not like I would go in the content area and be like, which is fine, but I would do my own thing and I would want to post. I maybe like 3 out of them. I'd be like, all right, these are like Moobie core, and then like 2, I just sort of like one of my first videos I recorded you and Brandon Walker like fighting, and I had no clue because I also wasn't a stoolie coming in, so I had like no clue that you were head honcho, and I'm like in the corner recording you.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. We reached a point like recently where you like Barstool almost became so like everywhere that people knew less about it. It was like. Not as big as it was, but the people who knew about it, like, knew about it. And then it just became, like, an Instagram account that you follow. And it was everywhere, but that almost lessened how much, like, knowledge people had about, like, the inner workings of it.
Totally.
Which, I don't know, it's a good thing, bad thing. It's probably good for the brand.
Barstool became an Instagram account, like, 7 years ago. Where people, you work at the Instagram account.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
but with TikToks, like, so my likeness to that is like Twitter. Like every tweet I ever sent, I wanted to send. I wasn't really like working for it, but I didn't have to like edit that. There wasn't really much of a process. It's kind of just train of thought. Like a TikTok, I feel like there's more time to let it grind you and
Yeah.
be like, I don't fucking want to post this right now.
Sometimes.
But you said it didn't happen that
But it
often.
doesn't
Also,
like-
I mean, they like grew up with it, really. You know what I mean? Like I think we view that very differently than them.
Yeah.
I feel like when
Like
we
it's
have to
not
make-
hard for you.
It's not
Yeah,
hard.
when,
And
when
every-
people would come to us, be like, you have to make a TikTok.
You guys are like, oh no, but it's really simple. Like it's really, and I liked it. It's such a creative outlet for me, especially because when I'm like clipping together and I like sound effects and like when I record a bunch of stuff and then make it into like a mini movie.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
it's so satisfying.
it's probably like a blog.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like when we used to write a blog, like if you find the right picture and you put the right GIF in and you have the perfect ending and it's the right length, I would always like press publish and be like, I'm happy with that.
But that was like if that is the same, then I would say like of blogs I published, probably 70% I wanted to post.
Right, and then there was some shit that you had to.
Yeah,
Like sometimes
some
you're
shit
always
out
just
there.
gonna be like, all right, you're like, oh, now with like ad deals, even you're like, okay, I gotta put like do this and that sort of thing. But I always want to post and be like creating, and it doesn't really feel like. I mean, it's work, but it's like I love what I'm doing, so it's.
And then you
it's
grabbed your girl
lucky.
Kelly.
And then I grabbed Kelly. Well,
What-
Dave was the one that was like, it's literally the craziest. She was in her 5th year to be a teacher. Like she was gonna take a year to get her like teaching New York City diploma or whatever, or like a certificate that lets you teach in New York. And she was like always in the videos, either like recording me, and like she was always the one to be like, all right, let's like you can do better, which I always love. She can be like, you can do better, sit on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're right. And like she got it. We're very like ADHD mind sort of everywhere. And we did dances for a while, and like one time like I was on my stump and I gave her like a rock, and I was like, and Kelly has a rock too. And
You do need like a partner for a lot of this shit.
Totally.
It's hard to be a truly solo act.
Yeah,
Even
which-
if it's a producer or just a part, like a.
Yeah.
And then she kind of just became like a whole side character.
Which is always like my question too. I was like, who am I gonna like? I was never worried about it, but then when Dave was like, well, I'm interested in Kelly, I was like, no brainer, like duh, this would be great. So I like come back from the call with him and I'm like, Kelly, it was about you. She was like, what? She had to rethink so many things, but she was like, of
Yeah.
course, like you only live once. It's the time to do it. She's like, I can always go back to teaching.
Teaching, I only have one experience. I only have one friend who's a teacher, and she got her master's in teaching, and she did 1 year, and she was like, "This
Fuck this shit.
sucks.
Yeah.
I quit." And I was like, "Did they not make you
what
like
grade?
teach in a class? Elementary? I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah,
grade,
yeah,
but
that's
I was like, "Did that make you sit in on a class one time?" She's like her first day, she's like, "This is the worst thing ever. Like, the fuck you been in school for 6 years for to learn about?"
That's funny. Did you so like what did your parents think?
They were like, with just me doing this.
Yeah, they cool with it?
Yeah, they were cool with it. They were like, okay, well, we never pictured you in it was either like take the Barstool internship or help like a marketing. No, it was like an insurance company with their like flyers. I was like, well, obviously I know which one I'm gonna do.
Right.
And as soon as I was like, I love this and this is great and awesome and so many things are happening. Every day I came up with a new story and like it's so hard to explain this place to them because
I'm sure.
I'm like,
Hey,
and
listen.
Frank the Tank and like all these
forget about the
names.
rest of these people. If Shay comes home in a few years going, chicken season salad, and all her friends are laughing, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Literally.
Like if I can't, I really could not fathom your kid being famous. Has got to be a weird thing.
I mean, I
Unless
only
you have like if you have like an athlete or something like talented, but
Yeah.
like when it's just like I started calling everybody Jim Dad, and now I'm like making money from it. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
and they're
what
like,
the
"What?"
fuck?
In the beginning, now they like sort of like my dad like think like he knows everything and like
Oh,
help
sure,
me,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
he would when I first like signed my contract, he literally talked to Dave on the phone. Like he was like, "I'm not even kidding. I'm like on my way to school. I'm like, please don't." He's
What
like,
did
it's
he
like
say?
talking to one of my bullies. I'm like, Daddy,
Oh,
he's
like
not
that.
your boy. Well, he
It
was
wasn't
just,
like he was like
he wasn't. He was just like confused by it all and just what kind of wanted like direction. Of,
I
like,
would
hey,
love to have heard that conversation.
Oh my God. He
Dave
said it
just
went-
being like,
He's like, hey, Mr. Schrader, Matt Schrader. Anyways, and my dad is in the world of like, he does like experiential shows. So like, he'll like pitch something in a Nike and then he's like, this woman probably knows my daughter. And then he's like trying not to bring me up and use me in his world. It's a crazy thing,
That
but
is funny.
they like
we
it.
we were talking about the Rizzler before you got in here. So the Rizzler's 8. The Rizzler's 8 years old, and he's here at Barstool today. And people rearranged their flight schedules to make sure they could see the Rizzler. We gotta have some standard. like I understand there's wacky shit that goes on, and people get famous on the internet, and that I am not knocking the Rizzler at all, but you can't be getting gassed up to meet an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
An eight.
That's like a fine line. It's like very.
It's not. That's not a fine line.
No.
The line is a
Very big.
huge line. The line is enormous, and it says, "Don't hang out with 8-year-olds." That is, I would feel radically uncomfortable. I was thinking, like, man, maybe we'll bring him in, and then I heard he was 8, and I was like, he's in 2nd grade. Like, I can't even. What are we doing here? He's in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
I don't deal with kids, and like what do you
You're an adult man who doesn't have your own.
What do you want me to talk to this kid about? Congratulations on your all your success, unbelievable, awesome. I don't think we have a lot of stuff in common.
I mean, what can you talk to an 8-year-old about?
Not like.
Hey,
Congrats on 2nd grade.
You do this on the internet, huh? You do this on the internet. She goes, I thought it was Baby Gronk.
Yeah, I thought they were the same person. I literally had no clue.
I thought he was the boom guy.
I think he's in that world.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
You know, that's even crazier that there's this little like powwow of children.
Yeah, and everyone's like so excited, and then he walks in. They're like, I'm like, that's even more uncomfortable because now you're like making him uncomfortable. It was just all
like that. It's like you have to go back to like, you know, school like starts tomorrow for you, dude. You have to go read like Charlotte's Web and shit. You have to like learn how to do math. Don't be a Barstool. Go learn how to do math, Rizzler. Like this shit is not gonna last forever, Rizzler. He's riding the wave. He's gonna be done when he's like 12.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like burnt out. Be like, I gotta go to rehab. I'm 12. Fucking insane. All right, you want to do a couple voicemails with us? We got some questions from our fans.
Oh sure, let's do it.
Hey Jackie and the gang. So I was just listening to the episode where Kevin absolutely roasts everyone for believing that gymnasts are short because of how hard they landed. Well, I believed that my whole life. Growing up, it just made sense to me. Gymnasts are short because they land really hard when they're doing their tricks, and it just like makes their bones shorter. So my question is, what is something that you grew up believing that you didn't find out was just completely made up in your own head until you were much, much older? Thanks.
I took a week off, and these fucking the brain trust over here put out an episode saying that Simone Biles is so short because she jumps so much and she lands on the ground and it like smushes her bones. And I come back in and I'm like, that's not how this works. And then he's like, well, when you hit a nail a bunch of times with a hammer, it gets smaller. And I was like, it's going into the wood. And they were like, the gang was getting swayed back and forth. Well, now I'm back on his side. I was like, this is so insanely stupid. And just because another dumb person believes it doesn't mean it's right, Paps.
Moves, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How much gymnastics have you done in your life?
Like 1%,
She's tall?
Okay. Point, Paps. Okay. We never had this discussion. We never had this part of the discussion, Paps. Hey, Paps, do you play basketball?
Yeah, I play basketball.
Do basketball players jump a lot?
They jump a lot, but they're not coming down as hard. I wasn't jumping that
What
high.
are you talking about?
Right, but there's like 1% of basketball players that can actually jump really high.
And they're fucking 7 feet tall.
But they're not slamming
Yeah,
down
they're
the ground.
landing on
And
you land on your tiptoes. And
They're landing on hardwood floor.
and
Simone
they have
Biles is on a fucking mat.
cushioned sneakers too.
Another good point.
What is it? Did you look it up? And is there like?
No,
There's some science to
There
it.
is no
It's
science.
unclear.
Well, I think
It's
it could
unclear.
it could definitely stunt your growth.
No, what
But I don't
stunts your
think-
growth is like weight training and like doing like you're supposed to be like a little kid and they're doing like
Yeah.
adult shit. That they say might.
Yeah, because they're working out when they're really little. But I don't
Right.
think the actual
It's
physics.
not the gravity and
Yeah.
the jumping. But what is something that you thought your whole life as a little kid that you learned is not real? I definitely have these. I just can't think of them. But there's for sure been stuff that I've been like, oh, I learned that way too late in life.
I definitely didn't think there was any Judaism in my family tree. I learned that there was.
A little bit of a different answer.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just thought I had a regular ass last name, and then people started calling me like Nazi stuff, and I didn't know why. So that was that was one. The C word, the slur for Asian people, I learned that doesn't mean penis when I was like 20.
You were wildly misinformed on that one. that was a plan by your mother that worked in theory, but just went on too long.
To be clear, I had racist friends who called Chinese food blank food, and I was like 7. I came home one day and I just thought that was what it was called. Like this was their parents who called it that.
Oh,
The Rizzler
God.
keeps saying it on the internet.
Yeah. So I came home and I was like, "Mom, can we have blank food for dinner?"
She's like,
and she was
"What?"
like, "What did you just say?" And I said, "Can we have blank food for dinner?" And she's like, do you have any idea what that word means? And I said, I thought it means Chinese food. And she said, it means penis. Do you want penis food? And so for like the
Kind
next
of a weird move.
10 years,
yeah.
I was like, don't use that word. That word means penis.
Oh my
Like, she
God.
certainly could have sat me down and had a conversation about racism and all that stuff, and she opted not to. And
She went a
kicked
different
that one down the
route.
road.
Yeah.
We'll do that later.
I looked like an idiot when I was 17 years old trying to tell her. I was like, dude, you're an idiot. That's not what that word means.
That's so funny.
I for sure have learned things late in life and been like, wow, I've been doing that wrong my whole life. You got any, Steve?
Up until like maybe sophomore year of college, I thought that like people that get paid yearly, I thought it was like one lump sum. First of every year.
That's a good one. There are
$100,000.
things like that where you realize it's like, oh, or, like, yes, it's just part of the world that you've never been a part of. So you have no idea. You get one giant fat paycheck and that's it.
I was always surprised that this isn't really the same, but like professional athletes get paid by the game. I thought they get paid like just bi-weekly, regularly. Right. I didn't realize it's like
It's a game
it's
thing.
a game check.
I used to think tequila was like the only upper. This is where like my sisters, like being the youngest, I feel like my siblings always told me like they're like, tequila it's like the only upper. It makes you really goofy, and then they'd be like, yeah, that's why I love tequila. Everything's a downer, and like it's all
That's a
placebo.
very big one that people.
Yeah.
It's actually a natural upper. It's like it's alcohol.
Like, it's
not.
yeah.
You just like scream and punch the wall and rage because it's tequila. It has nothing to do with the alcohol.
I never understood that with people who are like, I can't do whiskey. I'm like, it's all alcohol.
It's all the same.
Like,
Yeah, gin gets that.
Well, gin makes you sin.
Yeah, a
Did
lot
you
of
hear
people
that?
like.
if you
fight
don't like
when
the
they have
taste,
gin.
that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're saying like
People
one
always act
alcohol
like-
affects you different than another alcohol, I was like, I mean, it all just gets me fucked up.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, like hangovers might be worse here and there.
Oh yeah.
I
But
never
the
noticed that
actual-
either.
Like, I think it depends on what you drink
Like
too. Though.
wine hangover.
Yeah, like a
that's
wine hangover is different than drinking. Like beer has some water to it, and like,
Yeah.
so when you drink, that's all different. But to be a different drunk, it's like I'm just gonna be slow moving and wanting pizza. all leads to the same fucking place. All right, next up.
What's good, y'all? Do you have a go-to move, like when you're kind of trapped in a conversation that you don't want to be in, and it'd be like way more awkward to just stand there not saying anything? Like the other day, I had to get a new car battery, and I was on this side of the road, so you know how like it'd be weird if I just stood there and watched him do it, or if I just like sat in my car while he worked. So it just made small talk. But my go-to is I act like I'm super invested in whatever it is their job is. So I was like, oh yeah, how'd you get into this line of work? Asking so many questions just to make the time go by. I'm a child therapist. I have zero fucking interest in that. But I'm just like, I gotta get to this conversation. Another time I was on a double date. The guy was super dry. So I was just like asking most basic stuff, and he started talking about work. I'm like, oh yeah, how'd you get into that line of work? Yada, yada, yada. He's a pediatrician, so he's like, fucking med school, you idiot. Like, of course, it's just, I want to talk to you, but I kind of have to. So yeah, y'all have any go-tos? Let me know.
This is just like I have like social skills to get through life.
Well, these guys, that's a great, like, how'd you get into that line of work? Is, instead of what do you do?
That's what you do?
How'd you get into that line of work?
That's what you say.
Like, because
But he's
then
right.
they start like in
But he's
college.
also right. It's like, yeah, like I went to med school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's for a doctor. 99%.
Everyone
of
else
jobs,
has a
there's
different-
like, well, I
like
started
a long
at blank.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you say to moves, how'd you get into this line of work? It's like,
It's a long.
so there was a stump.
Yeah.
So there was a tree
Yeah,
stump.
it's a long.
I actually have recently stopped doing this, in a sense, like stopped being part of conversations that
You choose.
You don't
choose
wanna be a
opt
part
out.
of?
yeah. But
It is a freeing experience when you are like, I'm no longer doing
You just
that.
walk away. Huh?
I know
Yeah.
I won't be rude about it, but I'll just be
Yeah.
like, hey man, it was great talking to you. I'll catch you later.
Peace.
And,
It's great.
And
It's a huge life change.
it's humongous.
I
It's-
think that's a great skill though. It's not rude. It's like you're like we don't have to be best
Yeah.
friends.
And you got to do it at certain, like, you can't like do
Well, yeah,
it in a
some-
certain spot. But when it's just like, we could awkwardly stand here, and you probably want out of this too.
right.
99% of the time they want out, and it's just like, hey man, I'm gonna get a drink, or I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, nice to meet you. Whatever it is, boom, see you later, and everybody kind of moves on.
Yeah.
That's a great way to live.
It is. I think it was like 35, so you got a while ago. But it was.
I do a lot of small talk.
it was real nice talking to you. I'll catch you
Small
later.
talk, I always say, is terrible, but also what's worse is like if the people who can't do the small talk.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a
just-
good skill, I guess, to have. But if you are with someone that doesn't have like good small talk, you're just like,
Oh, it's the worst. I also feel his pain. Like if anybody's doing a service for me, I get so awkward.
Oh,
Like it's
like the car battery.
Yeah, like you're fixing my car, you're cleaning the house, you're like even the guys working on my house now. It's like I'm always like, do you need water? Can I get you a sandwich? They're like, they're just getting paid to fucking work here. Go away.
yeah.
But I feel like it's like slave labor or something. I'm like, are you good? You know, do you need anything? They're like, shut up, dude. We don't even speak English.
I remember one episode when I was in here that you were talking about your cleaning lady that would bring her kid.
That was nuts.
Cleaning man.
Cleaning man.
Get it right.
Sorry.
That was child abuse.
But there were some stories that I was like, oh my God. I was actually laughing. So I remember that when they brought it up.
Yeah, he's got some weird ones.
He's still my cleaning man. Worst cleaning man in the world.
He comes at like 10 o'clock at night.
What?
I'll be roaming the West Side Highway.
He'll call me like Tuesday, like 9:30, being like, yeah, my cleaning man's here, so I'm like, I'm out.
I'll
Do you give him a schedule? Like, can you come in the
He'll
morning?
say a day, and I'm just like, sure, sounds good. And I, like an asshole, assume that means like not at 8 p.m. And then every time it turns out to be like, I'll get a text like, hey, we're almost there. Is the key in the lockbox? I'm like, yeah, but I'm home.
I'm asleep. How much do you pay that guy?
How much do you think? Because I think I pay him way too much.
I'm sure you pay him too much. You probably pay him like $300, right?
$260.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
If he
know.
came when like on off hours, but it's like he's wildly inconveniencing you, and you probably give him too much.
And also, I know he does other people at this company's apartments, and they're like, he charges us $100.
Well, then you have your fucking answer that you
Yeah.
pay him too much. Who else does he clean for?
Nate, Vibs.
They might have smaller apartment than you.
But like, I don't have a big apartment. I have like a fucking regular.
But he's doing like 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a bathroom.
Doesn't touch the second bedroom. There's nothing in there.
Yeah, that room. That room is. You're right.
I explicitly tell him like, don't touch it. There's nothing.
Like that's the fight room.
There's like it's literally that's a room. That's an empty room. I don't understand what people need things for. like the fuck you like.
Where are you living?
Lower East Side.
Relatively, yeah. Yeah, and
Like,
you
don't
and Kelly
fly
live
me.
together?
No, I live with my sister. Kelly's commuting from Long Island. She'll probably move in like January or like when my lease up. Maybe she'll move in with me.
How old's your sister?
25. She's gonna turn 25. We're 3 years apart.
So you moved into her apartment, or you guys got a place
No, we got to separate. She was living with like 4 other girls, and then we moved into. She was more in like Flatiron, and then she moved down, and then I moved in with her. And our apartment's miniature, and it's so expensive.
Miniature,
I'm like,
yeah. What do you pay?
$22.50 for like actually like my fridge opens up into my room. I'm like, great, love this.
This is the
And, like,
time to do that, though.
Yeah, no. It's
Yeah,
like-
it is
you
such a
look back on
stupid
it,
thing. Like,
but it's fun.
Yeah. It's better to be in a cool part of town in a shitty apartment than vice versa.
But even like my bad apartments, which weren't in a good part of town.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still fucking love those places.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it,
they're kind of fun.
It's
If you
such
can't
a-
have fun like now, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters right now.
No, yeah.
And if you let that bother you, you're probably just like not that fun of a person. Every apartment I was like, oh, this one's a little bit bigger, this one's a little bit smaller, this one's uptown, this one's
All
downtown.
you really need is like a
whatever.
bed. I literally just
Yeah.
need a bed and a place to like do my makeup or something.
Yeah.
And it's like great. And honestly, Sabrina, like my sister's name is Sabrina. Like we'd have her do our own. We've lived together before, like when we were children. It was great. So it's like been really fun.
Wow.
I love it.
My first apartment was on like 72nd and 2nd, something like that, and the toilet wasn't in the bathroom.
It was like separate.
The toilet was separate from the bathroom. The toilet was in my bedroom, and it was in a closet in
Like
my
in the
bedroom.
corner?
That is
But
so
like it
stupid.
was in my bedroom, and my bedroom could only fit like a bed. There was literally like nothing else. Like to get to the bedroom. Say this is where the room goes, right? The toilet's kind of back where that camera is. My bed frame is here. So every morning would start with my roommate literally crawling into bed with me to roll over to get out of the bed so we could get into the bathroom and take a shit.
Oh my god.
That's
Bro,
how.
that is deplorable. That I draw the line there.
It was like a 6th floor walk up.
Yo,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
too shitty of an apartment.
No,
Literally.
dude, I miss that place.
That guy
dude.
is
I
Probably
love
had
shitting
the
like
best
in your
times,
bed, bro.
though.
That guy's shitting in your bed, basically.
You probably smelled it. a lot.
Yeah, of course.
for sure. It was also that bathroom. It was literally a closet. It was from the back of that couch to the wall. All you could fit was a toilet. You
yeah.
couldn't close the door when you were using the toilet. It was a mess.
But the way.
And-
Sorry, you go.
But there was one time I was blogging. I was in the living room blogging, and I heard just a kerfuffle in my bedroom. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, no one was home. It was just me. I was like, what could possibly be going on in there? I opened my bedroom. A pigeon had gotten in and shit everywhere.
Oh my god!
I blogged it. I remember, like, I took pictures. I was like, my room is covered in pigeon shit. But it is like, I mean, and like, I don't know. I guess it's like Outlook. Like, I don't know. I thought it was funny in the moment because I got to use it for something. Yeah. And now it's 10 years later, 15 years later. It's even funnier. But the shitty living is the fucking.
That's where the memories are made.
It's the reason I still live pretty shitty. It's because, like, I don't know, it's the most fun way to do it.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
What's up, KFC Feits, Jackie, Pav, Steve, super producer BC.
Steve, got a shout out.
I think my last question was, what's the telltale sign of a guy being straight? Liked your answers, thank you. My next question is, what is the gayest thing a straight guy can do? My answer, which is something I'm guilty of. I mean, I guess you can't really be guilty of it because it sounds kind of homophobic, but I listen to Chapel Roan as a straight man. It's pretty fucking gay. I don't know. What's the gayest thing you can do as a straight guy?
You said some super gay shit earlier.
First of all, I love Chapel Roan, so that's
check that box.
By the way, Dave does not. I think Bree had already recommended her to him by the time I did. But I was like, Dave, you would love Chapel Roan. He's like, oh, check it out. And I guess he does not like her.
I think Hot to Go is a shitty song. I like her other songs, but if you're introduced to that song and you don't like that type of music.
I like Hot to Go. It's nowhere near her best song, but I like Hot to Go too.
I feel like if he listened to Hot to Go, he'd be like, this is stupid.
Dude,
I feel
Pink
like
Pony Club is a absolute smash. But that's neither here nor there. What was I going to say? Oh, my initial answer, my gut was driving Mazda Miata. You know what? That changed recently because I was in Colorado driving down a mountain and I saw, like, you know how they have like motorcycle gangs?
Yeah.
Miata gang?
Might have been 40 Miatas.
No way.
I started honking my horn, going nuts. They started honking it back.
I would love to be a part of a Miata gang. Yeah. Drive down the coast in a
what's a Miata? It's like a little.
It's like the shit. Pull up a Mazda Miata.
It's like a little coupe, like.
It's
car.
like it actually used to be like in my mind it was not a gay thing. It was like you want like a sports car, but you are poor and like so you get the Mazda Miata instead.
Oh.
It's like a fake little
mini.
Yeah, like
that red one.
The
is,
second one.
It looks like a toy car. Like it's a toy car.
And you saw a gang of that?
Gang of them. It
like
was,
if you were to sit in that Miata, your head would be above the windshield. Like it's a super tiny little car. I would say like I would rent a Miata to be a part of it, but I feel like you got to be like a true Miata gang member. You can't just be like a biker. You got to have a bike.
You got to show your pink slips to get in.
Yeah. I've had my Miata for about 12 years. You know, that is pretty gay too, though. The gayest thing a straight guy
probably eat popsicles the way I do.
It's just the John show, really.
Man, I think it was a dozen recently where
a dozen popsicles.
No. I was on the dozen.
Fair question.
Yeah.
Could have been a dozen popsicles.
But I was like, Will was like, dude, you gotta chill with that thing. And then Viva La Stool tweeted like doing tricks on it, and it's just me like, I mean, I look, there's no straight way to eat it.
Well, you could bite it.
I mean, yeah,
that's what
that made my nipples hard just saying.
That's what the people who are afraid to even be slightly mentioned as gay will take a bite of it.
Bro, it's a popsicle. I'm eating how you're supposed to eat a popsicle.
Just deep throat.
I'm not shoving it up my ass. It's just this is what the food is, and this is how I'm eating the food. This is the only way to do it.
You're funny. All right, Moobs, good stuff. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
What's your handle? Tell everyone to go follow it.
At Moobie, M00bie, and then Maddie Schrader is my Instagram. And then stay tuned for YouTube long-form content with the tour coming up. I'm excited.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Woohoo!
All right, we had the appetizer last week. Now it is time to feast because college football is fully back. Don't miss any of the actions. Jump in at DraftKings Sportsbook. Got a full slate of games for Week 1, including the big matchup in Atlanta between the preseason number 1 and number 16. Super easy for first-timers to get started. I'm a first-timer. Every year I'm a first-timer. Every year I'm like trying to get back into the gambling thing, and I still don't quite know what I'm doing and exactly how to do it, and DraftKings makes it easier than ever. All you got to do is pick something simple, like pick a team to win. So you go to DraftKings Sportsbook, you select your team, you place your first bet, and DraftKings has the biggest college football season to date on deck. So enjoy the ride all the way through the expanded playoffs. And for all you newbies trying to get into the college spirit, they got a little something extra special for you. New DraftKings customers bet $500 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So put down $500, get $200 to bet on anything else you want. That's a pretty good return on investment, whether you win or lose. So score big with DraftKings all college football season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code KFC. That's KFC for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
You saying I don't care if it stays in or not, but you saying like you try and get in every year or whatever reminds me very much of what I'm feeling right now.
Was that like FSU or just in general?
No, with Oasis. I feel like Oasis is extremely my shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's something I should be involved in. I don't dislike Oasis. I know the hits, but like I feel like I got to get involved in the Oasis.
Yeah, you definitely gotta.
I
Bob Fox is flying to Wales.
Yeah, no, I feel like I gotta go.
I was gonna say you should be in on it. I said you gotta go to the first show. For Bob Fox, at least, he's so diehard. You got to be there for the first one because it's going to be electric and it also might end.
Right.
Like they might not make it to Wembley for those 12 shows. So Bob's got to, I think being there for their first time back where they're like a little rusty and it's a little electric is going to be like I didn't know how big they were.
I had the CD when I was a kid. I liked Wonderwall. I liked Championship.
No, I knew that.
But that's what I mean. I didn't realize that like anything.
Bob told me. I was like, "How many albums they have?" He's like, 7.
Oh, I didn't know. I only knew
they
definitely.
They dominated the '90s. They turned down $100 million deal, and I was like, "Who the fuck does Noel Gallagher think he is turning down that kind of money? He doesn't have that money." And Bob was like, "Yes, he does." So I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize that."
Really?
I guess
I definitely didn't realize.
I don't think
that
anybody
either.
has turned down $100 million worth of money. Shout out to the Kelsey boys, by the way. Those guys did, I don't know, a year of podcasting, got $100 million. That's cool. It's cool. I'm sitting here on year 13. We're on episode 10,000, making one millionth of that, 100 millionth of that. You good? All right. Jackie. What?
I mean, here's the deal. You can't just like you wear a meat sweatshirt every day or sweatpants.
She acted when I said to her, I thought you guys were doing an out of order thing.
Yeah.
And I said, are you filming today or is this just your outfit? And she was like, I'm going to dinner later. And I was like, don't act like this is not me. This would be the equivalent of me walking in a fucking tuxedo.
Okay. First of all, I think what it is, it's just like the shoes I always wear.
No, it's not. Yes, but it's the whole fucking thing.
But if I had worn sneakers, it would have been less jarring.
No.
And I've come
these
to
are
work
listen, those are like a statement, but you're in a tiny skirt and a shirt with one button, like you wear sweatshirts and fucking meat shirts all the time. I thought you look great. I'm just saying it's not it's not just like
this is like when Frankie wore the cool T-shirt. He's like, I wear this every day.
Right. It's like, no, you don't.
That's a cool T-shirt.
You're trying to do something,
T-shirt. And that's great. That's awesome.
Okay,
actually, it's not even that she's
like
trying to do something. It's like this is what you do usually when you're out. But you just brought your out world to your work world. And your work world is gigantic sweatshirts.
I guess it makes sense. I mean,
listen, it's great for the show. You can do this whenever you want, minus the giant pit stains. But people are gonna be like, what the whoa.
Okay. I guess. But I'm trying to think back. Like, I'm not wearing meat sweatshirts every single. Like, I guess this is definitely
even
like I don't usually like go to dinner on editing nights. So like
right.
And then normally other times.
I got a big laugh on a Pabs.
I can't. I don't know what time I'm gonna be done. But like, okay, so I guess
Like people, it's just too much of a departure that people will be like, whoa.
Okay, well, first
you can't
of all,
just like wear that in and be like, no one's gonna say anything, and if they do, they're the weird ones.
I'm literally never dressing up again. I'm strictly buying more meat sweatshirts.
It would be like, I dress how I dress, he dresses how he dresses, and when we depart from that, people are like, whoa, you did that.
Like when you were getting dressed this morning, you were like HOTTOTO, and that's not usually
in the mirror, being like, I hope I need to look good enough to go out tonight.
I guess like it wasn't like jarring that much. It's like this outfit is kind of like a go-to. Like if I don't know what I'm gonna wear, I'm just like I throw on this outfit. And so like this morning I was like, oh, I don't know like.
But again, for your going out life.
For my going out life, I guess it's less jarring to me because like on the weekends. I don't dress how I dress at work.
Right.
But we don't see that.
But you guys don't see that.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
so I
nobody
can
else
see
does.
the confusion.
Yeah.
Like to me, like this outfit is like my I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna wear. It's my go-to.
To
this morning
us,
I was
it's
like, what am I gonna wear to
meat
dinner?
sweatshirts.
Yeah.
It's you guys. It's meat sweatshirts.
You don't. It's not always meat sweatshirts, but it's a departure. It's a departure.
Yes.
Okay, well take it in because I'm never fucking wearing this again.
Well, what do you do now?
Like, what do I do
now? Just go back to the meat
just go back to meat sweatshirts?
No, I mean for tonight. Like, we're still wearing that tonight? You're pitted up,
Okay,
dude.
yeah, I know.
You're
like,
so pitted,
it's like,
bro.
It's a dinner with
this is-
girls. Like I don't really care about like.
Oh, okay. That's a little different, but still, you're pitted up.
I know.
This is like this was my life before I got my shit fixed. Like it's giving me like PTSD. Like,
Well, also
give me like
they're
this
so bad.
Just
No,
quick.
I'm actually
Just
not.
quick. Just quick. Just give the people a quick. Just show them. Everyone can relate to it.
Not me. I can't. I want to be clear about
you
that.
don't sweat. I can relate to that.
Fuck yourself.
Anybody but John.
Fuck yourself.
Last night I was at the U.S. Open in a jacket, being like, "This is
I don't
very
know.
pleasant."
It drives me crazy when he's like, "I'm not cold," or "I'm not hot." I'm like, "I'm dying."
Okay, well, it's not that I'm
But also,
hot.
it's not even hot.
It's
It's
just
just pits.
nervous. Like, it's just like the fact that you guys literally were like, why the fuck are you wearing that? No, I'm kidding. But
That did not happen.
I'm kidding. Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
Be very clear.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did not
Not
say to
happen.
Jackie, "Why the fuck are you wearing that, you slut?"
No, they did. They did say that.
Absolutely not. No way.
Anyways.
But then
Oh, yeah,
once
but
I
then
saw
just, like,
those,
the
and then I wasn't
video
gonna say
camera.
anything. But then I saw you do a check, and I was like, "Oh no, she knows now, and I know now. We all know now. We got to just talk."
I
about
was
Yeah, I can
devastated
feel it.
when you did the check because I wanted to be the one to tell you.
Yeah. But also, like,
You're a sick fuck.
you guys know already. Like, you guys have already seen my pit stains. Like, I don't. But you know what it is like, I don't like get it other than like around. I think it's just like being. You guys like freak me out.
I can't imagine why.
What?
Pit stains are a fucking disaster, though. Is that a thing for you, or is it just a one-time thing?
Not really. No. Again, like if I around you guys and like on camera. I guess like if I know like anything. I
So
guess
like
'cause-
half your day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's most of your life now. That's your life now.
Actually, yeah.
Pit stains
Like,
are only an issue for me for about 17 hours.
That
a day.
would be like me
Honestly-
being like, yeah, it's only a problem when I'm on KFC Radio. Like that's
no,
that's your life
and
now.
honestly, like social anxiety wise, like if I have to go talk to people. So I guess when I go out.
So all day.
So all day.
Every day.
But I don't think I've never been called out for pit stains when I'm out. But that's probably on account of the alcohol. Maybe it is like a huge one. This is
I
like,
used to be like we would be at like a school dance or somewhere where I'm dressed up, and people would be like, it's a vicious cycle where it would be like, oh, I'm so hot, and they're like, take your jacket off, and I'm like, I can't because I've already started sweating.
Yeah.
And then when you leave your jacket on and you're like dancing and drinking and shit, you sweat more. So then it's just like I'm committed to this jacket the whole fucking night on a dance floor in a fucking full suit. You know what I mean? It is a nightmare.
okay, but also these sleeves are ridiculously high.
They're
up.
so. I mean,
They're
I don't
so
know.
high up.
Even if you're not like a sweaty person or an anxious person, if you have a shirt that's just in your pits, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. But
I mean, it's going through the back, Jackie.
there's also like no, it's not. Is
I
it
mean,
actually?
like
Oh.
right there?
Oh, okay. Well, there's literally
now.
nothing I can do about
Get
that.
a meat sweatshirt in here.
I guess I'll take
But also, I'm even
can I
surprised.
do
Like,
that?
I would have thought that like you guys. I would
Lord
have thought.
forgive me, it's time to go
this
back to
is
the
gonna
old
be a
me.
tough color though.
No, let's go
Can I wear
with Brett the Jet. Yeah. This is
I feel
our.
like this is me,
What's
like-
this guy's name? Is that card still in there? This dude. I want to give him a shout out. I think this is it. Yep. At Kyle Henry Clothing. He's a vintage store guy, and he sent John the shirts he's been wearing, and this shirt, and an awesome Knicks zip up. So, Kyle, you saved Jackie today. she owes you the
Kyle.
most. Kyle Henry Clothing.
I feel like this is me like realizing I might have like Down syndrome. I'm like, do I have a sweating problem?
That's what
you did
this
say-
show and just shows in general do, is they just bring out all the things you should be insecure about that you didn't know.
That you don't know. It must be like wet under there, cold.
It's just like I can't really like even get it off because it's so tight on my armpits.
Yeah,
That's
a crazy
You
shirt.
gonna hang on a clothesline?
Oh wow, you really did do that. Like you took it off. Okay, we're gonna have to hang that thing out to dry. Yeah. Anybody got I used to go to the bathroom and hit the.
Wait, you had a bad sweating problem?
Oh yeah.
Why don't I know about this?
I mean, it's been probably a decade now that I fixed it. But I used to. First, when like Botox first became a thing.
Yeah.
You get it for like your wrinkles, but also it kills the sweating glands.
Okay.
So I used to go to like a dermatologist and drop like $1,000 back when I really didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And they would do like probably like 50 little insertions in both armpits, and it fucking hurt. But like, cause I'm like a pussy guy, and girls are like, yeah, put a needle in my eyeball, like whatever. And I'd be sitting there like. And then and that would work for like months at a time, but it would like slowly wear off. And then I did this thing called mirror dry, where they take like almost like a vacuum suction, like it like looks like a vacuum head, and it blasts like 1,000 degrees heat into your fucking armpits, and it just like kills your sweating glands. But I used to be I would be like freezing cold but sweating.
How much does that cost?
That was like $2,500, $2,000. But I bet like right now, like I'm sure they'll do it for free. This was back when I couldn't like do deals and shit like that. You find these people and be like and talk about it on Instagram, they'll probably do it for free. It was the single best thing I ever did.
Really? Okay. Well,
because it like I was sweating like all the time. So you know, I hope you break the chair on this episode too. It would just be the
it's just like I
icing
will
on the cake.
Jackie's a fat sweat monster.
This will ruin your life.
I will kill myself.
Yeah. It'll be like they asked her to come on the show, and then 6 months later she killed herself. Because there's something that happens. Even I mean, people are mean to us on the internet, so it was, I guess, like extra bad. But even if you have like a nice fan base and you're like well liked, once you get on camera, like they just point out everything.
Everything.
It's crazy. And I guess like when it used to be like you're on camera, I think back in the day, by the time you got on camera in front of a lot of people, you had like makeup and hair and a team and people looking out for you and shit. This day and age, it's like I went live on Instagram because I'm just like a regular person, but a lot of people showed up, you know, and now I know about my mole and my chin and my eye and you know what I mean, like things that I was just like I never thought about any of this, and now I know about all of it.
It's
now
not
I know about
them,
all of it.
it's you guys. Like I didn't think about my hands once.
That's a fair point. All right,
sometimes you get bullied by your coworkers. What do you have?
No, say what you said the other day. Say what you said the other day about my hands.
When Jackie was sitting on the couch next to me, her hands were not jar. Like they were very normal hands.
Were very normal hands.
not jarring was the phrase. Not jarring.
It's
like,
also
you were talking like this, and I kind of just saw it. And I was like, oh, that's a normal hand.
When usually she's across the room moving her hands, and you're like, you kind of dodge. It feels like you're watching a 3D movie where it's coming out.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that when you talk.
That might have been the sweetest thing you guys have ever said to me. Thank you very much.
Also, Jackie today was walking in. She had her hands full, and I watched her. She had her phone out, and she had a full cup of tea. I mean, to the fucking brim, on top of her, on top of her phone, and she was just walking like this. And I just watched it like slowly start to slosh and then slosh bigger and then just spill over the edge. And as it was happening, I was like, Jack, you're gonna, Jack. And she goes, I know. It's just, she goes, it's gonna evaporate.
Yeah, like at some point,
it's a fair point.
It's inevitable that it's gonna spill. So why even try to prevent it spilling? Like I don't.
She goes, what could I have done? I was like, walk a little slower.
I know, but then like
not wave your arms back and forth with a full cup of tea.
It's
like
inevitable. It's gonna spill. It's so funny. Like it's gotta happen.
Yeah.
It's like talking to kids about like, you know, it's like don't even practice abstinence. You're gonna have to use condoms. Yeah. We're gonna have sex, so be safe. Jackie's just, I'm gonna spill everywhere.
I did the whole slow walking thing, and it's just like it's a waste of time. I'm just what?
Isn't it hot? Like burning your hands?
I'm so accustomed to it right now. Like spills on my hands.
Hooves, they don't feel anything. It's like, you know how you can hammer in a horseshoe on a horse's foot? They don't feel anything. That's Jackie's hands when she spills scalding hot coffee. Like nothing happens.
To be so used to being covered in burns. Like, I've been around the block here. I'll be fine.
So you're just gonna spill.
My
forever.
hands can take a fucking beating. Right?
You're like a construction worker, like calloused up.
Yeah.
You know?
My mom says that too. She's like, I can put my hand in boiling acid. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
So you'll just spill forever.
I guess yeah. I mean, like it's gonna happen. It's been like 4 years. Nothing's changed.
It's a COVID
It's
thing.
been like more than that.
I was gonna say, so it
More like-
started
It's like, I guess I know people start calling it out more here.
when you went to work in a public workplace and started spilling everywhere. People started to figure it out, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you give just the people the full look of the outfit? Maybe do like a little runway walk, right? You know, I mean, you got the vintage Brett Favre on.
Okay.
Looking back, the Brett Favre years, you know, kind of fun now.
Is it kind of cute?
I was gonna say, it's not bad. Yeah.
I'm almost like I would have thought when you go out that you still kind of just do the like. I feel like your generation does like, you know, baggy jeans and like.
I do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like stunting Love Island.
Right. Bombshell shit.
Yeah. Oh my god. I want to talk about it, but like I'm so late. I can't talk about it.
You can talk about it. People love it.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll talk about it later.
Just talk about it.
It's fine.
Okay. No, I actually don't want to talk about it because right now I'm not liking somebody and I'm liking somebody who I think it's gonna
Just
change.
fucking say it.
Okay. I feel like I should be siding with Leah in the who did you side with when
I was anti-Leah.
Okay.
I like Leah as a person, but I am Team Rob, and I think what Leah did to him was fucked up.
So, but I'm not like
But
Rob
you were
is-
like laughing about Rob.
Rob is
this
also
guy.
like,
this
fuck.
guy on the show just kind of like he was in a love triangle. I mean, you know, it's all ridiculous, right? Put that aside, right? But he was like, I'm like, I like both of you, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm like, I just don't know what to do. And he started to get emotional and like just was honest and like started to cry.
No. The crying was literally
it's
the
all
most
ridiculous.
dramatic thing
But
I've
this
ever
girl
seen.
was like,
he took off
that
his
little
shirt.
fucking bitch crying on the floor gave me the fucking ick. Like, go cry like a bitch. It's like, oh my god, this is why we never say anything.
No, that was funny. I sided with that.
Yeah,
but then
that checks. That checks out.
When they voted Andrea off, and then she was like,
that was when I sent you where they were all like the whole place was like in shambles.
And then like Leah was like, I took a back seat, and then it was like Liv and.
So
Taylor.
that's a storyline all the way through the reunion. Them being like, we took a back seat. On the reunion, they air. It was the most mail time shit I've ever seen. On the reunion, they played that whole vote.
Yeah.
They played the whole thing uninterrupted.
Yeah.
It's like 35 minutes, and it's just them whispering the whole time. And it was like people were furious with the reunion. It was like the best season of all time, and everyone was gassed up for the reunion, and it fucking sucked. And one of the things they did, they were like, people keep saying, we want to see, did you take a back seat or were you instrumental in the voting? And they were like, here you go, like you get what you asked for. And it fucking sucked.
Wait, so did she take a back seat?
I stopped watching. I was like, no, of course not. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
She wanted the guy and she wanted that girl out, and she kept like planting the seeds. It wasn't like she was the main girl, but it was like,
Yeah.
you know.
I was with her, and then that I was like, and she like, even like going back to Rob, I was just like, what?
But
why?
In the end, like the people who lasted the whole time, you kind of just like let all their shit
No,
go.
I
And
know.
you're just
That's
like-
why I like figured
she's
I'm gonna
like
end up like
huge.
No, now
she
I'm
got
like
4 million followers.
I think
The
that
other
she's
girls
biggest
got
one.
like
That's why I
like
thought that she was gonna be,
700,000.
like,
She got like 4 million.
the most beloved, and I thought I was gonna like side with her on everything, and then that happened. I was like, oh wait, should
Yeah, I don't
is it
think
bad
she's-
that I'm not siding with her.
I don't think it's necessarily the most beloved. I think she's just the most like entertaining.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were like, how come Serena isn't getting all the love? Like she actually won, and it's like nobody gives a fuck about who wins these things. People care about who's the most entertaining.
I didn't realize Love Island was a competition.
It's like it's like for $100,000, like which couple is
But
the
it's-
best. America votes at the end. America eventually always votes votes people out.
Okay.
And then in the end they vote for like the best couple. And this, it was Odell Beckham's brother and this girl were very cute together and they won. Who cares? Here's, $50,000 after taxes.
50
Split
grand.
between the two of you.
Oh God.
$25,000 each.
You got a used Camry out of it. Congrats.
I got to give a shout out to another older TV show. I've been talking about the Traitors. Season 1 of the Traitors, I was like raving about it. I was like, this is better than Survivor. This is the greatest gameplay on reality TV. Season 2, Harry on the Traitors is maybe the greatest performance of human interaction I've ever seen in my life. It was a work of art what this guy did for like 4 straight weeks in this show. It was it was like Steph Curry at the Olympics. Like I'm gonna have Steve make a video of it. It's already happened, so I don't know if people like care about it. I filmed myself watching the last 10 minutes. I was like running around the house like I was watching sports. I was like, he did it! He did it! Oh my! He was dancing circles. He's 22 years old and he just dominated the fuck out of these people. It was one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed.
This is like the werewolf show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he just, it was incredible. As far as like just blatant manipulation and lying to people, and he's the greatest on the planet Earth. He should be like a international spy or some shit. So Traitors and Love Island, you can talk about that all day. People love it.
By the way, I agree with the person who's like, he's a bitch. Just to be clear.
Bro, it was so bad.
Like, but
No, but
like, I mean, I would do the same. Even if it was a girl, I'd be like, "What are you, a lunatic?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what, you
yes.
crying on the floor? Get
was,
up!"
Yeah.
Be an
Not
adult.
only was he crying he was like squirming around, crying on the floor, like literally like curling up into a ball.
And then he gets up and jumps in the pool.
It was like, you know, yeah.
He went under this thing in the pool to cry alone.
I just gotta be
as he
alone.
should do.
It was crazy.
But
But
having emotions is very embarrassing.
yeah,
it
like,
was
listen,
if
fake
you're-
emotions. It
I
was
don't
like-
think it's
Even
fake.
fake or real, doesn't matter. It's embarrassing.
When
And you
when
should
you're in
do it
public,
alone.
button it up. If there are people around, get your shit together. But I really don't think those. I think we think it's silly, but I think when you go in those situations, any reality situations, you are warped. Like you get dropped in. I mean, you even got a little taste of it with Survivor, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And that's like a fraction of these guys living alone, all together for weeks on end. All you do is like this, and I think you actually. It just goes like warp speed. And then I think you get out and you come up for air and you're probably like, that was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I think they are feeling those real feelings. I don't think they're lying. Some of them are lying to try to be famous. I think most of them are actually crying, are actually sad, are actually fucked up in the moment.
But I don't doubt that he like the emotions aren't valid. It was the way that he was crying was very performative.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
it was like crocodile tears.
Totally.
seeming.
And he had been on the show before, so I think he there was a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But the thing for her was, I don't think it was performative. That was very real when she was like, that little fucking pussy.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, you scare me. Even the guy she was with was like, I don't know if I want to date you anymore, you fucking psycho.
I mean, he was being.
They're all crazy in the moment. I mean, you can't go on that show and be like, oh yeah, that person is healthy and adjusted. Like that, they're just a regular person.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
We gotta celebrate, right?
Wait. Yes.
We
It's
got
your
you
last
a going
day.
away. It's Steve's last show. Well, not really, but
Yeah.
technically. So come on the couch. We got you a going away present. The thing you love most in this world, from Levain Bakery.
It's basic, but
You know, I mean, it's the number one for a reason. Is there a mic for him?
yeah, right there.
Yeah, right there.
What you got there,
What
Steve?
did you get him? What do you get?
Couple cookies, huh?
Cookies?
Please.
Yeah. No, let's do it.
Are you?
Please do.
Oh, don't worry, he was gone.
I know it's not deserving.
Are you capable of like getting food without doing that voice? It's
What?
like the Miss Peaches voice, but
It really is. yeah. I'm gonna, and he does the thing with his fingers.
and it's like
It's
your
always
neck goes down.
people. Yep. He looks in.
I was at the U.S. Open last night, and I did that.
Give me half that.
Yeah, I don't want the whole thing. Oh my God. Keegs got chicken nuggets, and I was sitting a chair away, and I just kept going. I go, let me try. I go, let me get one of those.
Oh, yeah, take one, yeah.
The other day at
This is fire. This place is like kind of
Yeah.
cliche,
Which one
but
is
for a
that
fucking
one?
reason, man.
that one's just probably like jock jab. I went to Yankees game and I got like a bucket of chicken nuggets with fries on top of a Diet Coke, and I was like, I love America so much.
I remember the day that the audio messed up. After I went home that night, walked to Levain, got 2 cookies, then just housed those. I got to do something to like recover from this day, and that's what I
to
did.
take the edge off.
Yeah, I had to. Some people like open up the
that
whiskey.
was like not even an issue though, right? You guys were freaking out about that.
It wasn't.
Literally, you think it was your fault. I feel so bad. I don't know how much to explain to you. Like it was
Jackie's fault.
It was my. First of all, it wasn't really my fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was tech, right?
Yeah, no,
It was technically a loose wire. So when you have a loose wire and you're recording audio,
the control room was in here, and they were like, "I'd be very quick to throw one of the producers under the bus. This is our fault."
I'll own up when it's my fault. That one, I can't have one under my belt that's not actually my fault because I need room for the ones that are my fault.
It was just a really tough day for it to happen.
Yeah.
And we
exactly.
joked about it
It was a
before.
one-time Steve
Yeah, we
was
joked
like-
about it before. Like, oh yeah, if the audio messes up, that'd be funny. And then the audio
it did.
messed up.
But that was when I realized I had a lot of respect for you because you cared so much and you were like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
Thank
I'm so
you.
sorry.
Steve is the best.
The best.
You are, if you want to, you're working with me for the rest of your life, dude. I will employ you forever, dude.
I'll take it.
You have been so good. It's been great.
Thank you. No,
It's been very, very, very hard for the last like 15 years to find people like you. I've been dealing with this one.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Since you really stuck your neck out to let me in, so I couldn't let you down.
No, yeah, I mean you
thank you.
far from letting me down, dude.
What's
you're
your
great.
least favorite thing about them?
Yeah,
About them?
Yeah. It's a great question.
Nothing.
No, you can
They're
go
up and down.
Be
They're
honest.
great.
What is
No,
it?
up and down. They're great. I got nothing to say.
What do you think? What do you think he thinks about us?
I don't know, actually.
Wild card. Yeah. No,
I think
Steve's tough to get a read on.
I know he's like.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wish I was kind of more mysterious like that.
I often think that. I'm like, I wish I could just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's just like he has the ability to not talk all the fucking time. Good on you, Steve.
Thank you.
What do you like your cooking? Is
It was fantastic. I
top-notch?
appreciate that. It was very nice of you guys.
Wait, so
Yeah.
what's your favorite dessert of all of New York that you've been in?
Probably that little cupcake bake shop,
Oh,
like
that's
banana
fine.
bread, Nutella. That was really good.
Could have got that for him, but
Well, no, the Levain cookies are more shareable.
I'll just go fucking kill myself.
Last night at the U.S. Open,
Oh, yeah.
I had a very, I think, gay realization.
there's any left for you to have? I thought you had all those.
Dude, I love tennis.
Oh yeah, that's gay.
But
I gotta
want,
get out to the U.S. Open.
Do you want to
How
know
long
why?
does it go through?
It's 2 more weeks, or
okay.
another. This last night, round 1 officially ended. But so Carlos was playing this guy Lee 2, which was really just hitting the gold mine.
Yeah.
Hashtag Lee 2.
Hashtag,
And he's bad. He had to play in challengers.
really bad?
Yeah, he had to play in like challengers just to make the U.S. Open. Like
Okay.
he's terrible. I think he's ranked like 180 something in the world.
Okay.
Like, no business playing Carlos Alcaraz. But the place was going nuts for him
Yeah, of course.
as soon as he started putting up a fight where it was just like everyone.
It's Gladiator. It's
Yeah.
like yeah,
Like because the first game set, first set was like a bloodbath. I think it was 6-1 or something like that, and then he won the second set, and people started going, people going crazy for him. He's throwing like this. He started to feel
and
himself.
Alcaraz is just laughing. Like,
And then when it ended, it was a standing O for everybody. And I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
I feel like when like the Patriots this year, if they give a game to the Chiefs, standing ovation. Like, look, boys, you did your best. You're not supposed to win this.
I think there's something about individual sports in that regard.
Yeah.
Where it's like that guy knew, just one man went out there and knew he was fucked. And gave it his all.
The any given Sunday idea is very
Yeah.
silly. That team's way better than
Right,
you.
you're
Even sticking
fucked.
around, even winning a quarter is fucking impressive as hell.
Yeah.
And you put on a show, so we're gonna stand up and clap for you.
Well, that's basically been my life, dude.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. Where like it's there's so much, it's so negative. in team
Rather-
sports.
yes.
Where in pro you're like, look, no one thought you were gonna get a point.
Yeah.
So you won a game or
That's
a set.
huge.
Like congratulations,
Yeah.
dude. That's crazy. Like, you're 28 years old. He's like, I think he's been kind of a journeyman. Like you said, like if you watch challengers, like a challenger is like these little mini tournaments that if the winner gets to play in the big tournament if they make it. And by the 4th set, it was honestly like actually no, this is the 5th set. It was like I've been to a bullfight before in Spain, and it was not fun. I don't recommend it. I was very young.
Start cheering for the bull.
I was 13, and I was with my grandfather, and it was like
Sad.
It was so sad. Like the bull by the end, he's getting stabbed 1,000 times, and he's limping
Just
around the
sticking it
ring,
out of him.
and they become incontinent, so he's pissing and shitting all over the place, and like
It's horrific.
it's
One of the most
Why
barbaric
does he
things
do
we did.
that?
that was Lee too in the 5th set, where like he was cramped because even challenges are only 3 sets, so like he's not even in
he can't even
condition.
play 4 and 5.
And he's just like, and you're like, God damn it, Carlos, just put him out the pasture, dude. This is brutal. I also, while I was there, I think I peed next to the man with the smallest penis in the world. I didn't see it, but the way he was acting, it had to, like, so you know, like when like you were a kid and some kids in elementary school would like get in the urinal.
Yeah, you put like your chest almost on the sides.
So he was in the urinal and he was he tilted like that, and then his arm like this. And I was
Wait,
like,
what?
Dude, you are doing a lot
to
of
block
effort. I was like, I wasn't gonna look. Now I gotta see that fucking thing. I didn't see it, but the. So yeah, honestly, I was saying I was gay for the first part, but
That's really
maybe the whole like I gotta see your dick, dude.
Wait, can you see other guys' dicks?
At the
It depends. I mean,
urinal?
if a
Yeah.
guy
If
is
you
like
want to.
trying, yeah. If you're just like peeing normal, you can look over and see it. But there are weirdos who are like really insecure about it, who like will hide it. You know.
So like at work, do you guys see each other's?
Just one.
There's no like
Oh.
urinals next to each other. It's like it's like a stall, urinal stall.
No.
That's crazy.
That would probably if there were multiple urinals here, would you look at guys' dicks here? Because that would be a little weird.
No.
Because if you know it's just a stranger, you're just like, meh, what are you working with? But when it's a guy that you're gonna see all the time, that would be weird.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's funny? You say that. When I was in Colorado recently, one of my best friends came, and I like chocolate fell into my sweater, and I was trying to flick it off before it
Without
stained.
smushing in.
Yeah.
There's also like one in between the couch if you want to get that out.
Yeah, and that one there.
No.
But when we were in Colorado, one of my buddies came, and we took a steam at the hotel gym, and I'd invited Nate, and I was like,
Oh, you cannot look at Nate's dick. That's what I mean. If I knew what
'cause
Nate was
me and
working
my
with,
buddy
one way or
were
the
like-
other.
We were just fucking naked, and I was like, what if Nate's gonna come down? This is gonna be weird for him. He didn't come
You
down.
invited him?
Yeah, of course I invited him. He was there.
No. Because what if he did?
He's gonna see my dick.
If Nate walked in and just dropped his towel, and you guys were just dick to dick, eye to eye, nose to nose, that would be like the universe would like collapse into
So
itself.
I was very curious. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna come or not. I don't even. But we'll see.
Like, and maybe he would go with his friend, but I don't think you guys can cross those streams.
Yeah.
It's like Ghostbusters. You can't cross.
Are there certain friends where you're fine crossing that line and others where you're not?
Yeah, like all my high
yeah,
school
it's
hockey,
hockey
I don't really have college friends, but all my high school.
I
and
don't
hockey
think we
friends.
would sit like dick out in a steam room.
No.
I think we probably could, but we just don't.
Yeah, and like it's honestly it's like I think the only person at Barstool.
I think at this point maybe we have to.
Just sit
The more
in a
you
steam
guys
room.
deny it, the more I'm like,
No, well now I'm just thinking about like it's almost when you when it's too late for you, you're supposed to know someone's name. And you're like, I can't ask him their name now.
Yeah.
It's like, I probably should have seen his dick by now, but I haven't. So now we've like missed our window of doing that. So maybe we should just be like, that's what you're working with. This is what I'm working with. All right.
There's a lot of people at Barstool see my dick. Like everyone who plays in the Chicklets Cup.
That's weird.
There's probably 20 people in that locker room.
They were all hockey guys.
Yeah.
So they're all right with it. It's weird if you were to like show it to like Tommy, it would be weird. Imagine sharing dick time with Tommy. That would be weird. He would make it so awkward.
Dude, showing your dick to Tommy, I feel like would be like showing it like when you're trying to feed an alligator, where you're like, I don't know if he's gonna snap at this or not. I don't know how this is gonna go.
Tommy would be the most uncool guy to show your dick to. He'd be like, I don't know. He would make it 1,000 times worse than it needs to be. But like, I think that, it's usually a white guy thing too. The black guys are not into it, but I think most white guys peak.
Yeah,
at the urinal.
Curious.
Yeah.
would you prefer Tommy over? No, not over like Joey or Pat. I feel like they would.
No, I'd be more
have a
comfortable
lot
showing
to say.
them.
You'd be
More
comfortable?
uncomfortable showing?
No, more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm also like,
I'm afraid that Joey would start sucking it. I'm afraid that I would want Joey to start sucking it. Just finish up and then get the hell out of here.
Hubs, I really like going to the U.S. Open. I like sitting next to Hubs because he's always very good at explaining everything to me. And we were just talking about tennis as a whole, and he's like, you got to be fine with losing. And because like most of the time you don't win the tournament. You play, like the tennis off season's only a month and a half, and like if you win 3 tournaments a year, that's a good year. But that means you lost about 40 of them or whatever it is, or 20 of them. And I think it's a very uncool thing to say. But remember the quote that we talked about this last night, but I always heard it was attributed to Chris Chelios. I think it gets attributed to a lot of different athletes. But I hate losing more than I like winning. I don't think that at all.
No, yeah.
I think that's a crazy thought. I really like winning. I don't like losing, but I'm okay with it.
Well, but do you think that it's the freaks? Like I think like the Tom Brady's of the world would say that. I think the Tom Brady's of the world like walk off the field losing, being like.
But that's insane to me. Where you're like, and obviously,
I think sometimes like the Kobe's it gets a bit performative. Like those guys have they get a persona and they get famous and they have like a reputation to uphold, so they do some of that shit. Like that. There was that one story. Remember the one that went viral like probably this year where it was like he would make the guy run to the end of the court and come back before he could talk to him or something like that?
No.
It was like Kobe was like shooting free throws or something like that. And rather than this guy being able to just pass him the ball, he had to like run a sprint and then come back and then give him the ball. And people were like, that's just the Mamba mentality. And it was like, this guy's just being a raging asshole to a trainer who's just trying to help.
But even like people, and obviously the level of sports we're comparing is very different. But like in high school and stuff like that, you have kids who, again, I think it was largely performative, but would be like furious after losing
or whatever,
and be like you like losing? Like, I don't like it, but I'm fine with the logic of it. Like we lost.
It's gonna happen. I think there's something much more professional probably about it and like smart about it to be like, we'll learn from it and get better and blah blah blah. But like it's gonna
I'll be at practice tomorrow. I will try my best tomorrow. Right. This game's over. We lost. What
I would like legit
do?
not know the score. My coach would get mad at me because he'd be like, "Oh, you really don't give a fuck." And I'd be like, sometimes I like really wouldn't know if we won or lost. I just like
in soccer.
Like I like because
one thing to like not know the score in basketball.
I know,
in
but
soccer.
But then because it was just like I was on the bench, so I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck what you guys are up to. I'm over here, I'm enjoying, I'm chit chatting, like I'm having the time of my life over here,
bro.
I keep forgetting.
We're doing camaraderie on this side over here.
I don't know about.
But you guys are doing that. That looks really not fun.
I didn't.
It looks like you guys are losing, so I don't care.
I don't know about the soccer bench, but the baseball bench is the most fun spot in the world.
Yeah.
The end of the bench at baseball when you're like a little bit older, so you're kind of like, you know how to like crack jokes. I mean, I remember me and my buddy were on the bench constantly, and I had one friend who ate. He liked to eat. He was like Feitelberg. He liked to eat.
When you said that, I thought I was like, he ate.
He ate. He ate. 10 minus 2. He ate. He would bring like, he would bring the sunflower seeds, and then like the next game he brought like Sour Patch Kids, and then he brought like a sandwich, and by the end of the year he brought filet mignon wrapped up in tinfoil, and we were on the end of the bench eating steak, and our coach is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" We're like, "Coach, we ain't going in, bro." And it was just like cracking jokes and playing pranks and eating food. Dressed in a silly uniform for no fucking reason. We could have been there in jeans and a t-shirt because we ain't going in. And it was like the most fun I ever had in sports. But I guess that's the difference. It's like that's this world that I like. There were the guys who were out there like, I need to compete, and I was kind of like, I don't really like this anymore.
Yeah,
like,
but
I loved it when I was a kid. Now it's too hard.
One out of every 100,000 of those kids becomes Tom Brady. The other 99,900.
I mean, I would say 1 out of a million.
I mean, of the absolute lunatics, but sure, whatever.
Okay. I thought you meant every kid who played.
No. 1 out of every 100,000 of the absolute lunatics, and every single other one of them beats their children.
Dude,
that's a kind of a fact, I think. I don't have the statistics to back it up.
Yeah, those guys are the worst. Did you see the Jalen Brunson video?
No, which one?
They posted it on. I think. I don't know who posted it, but it was Jalen Brunson at the age of probably like 12, maybe 10, something like that. And Rick Brunson is his father, who played in the league. He was kind of a journeyman, made himself, I'm sure made a decent living, but like was not great or anything. And they're filming them practicing, and he is grinding him. And he's like making him do full court layups, and Jalen's like, how many? And he's like, till I tell you we're done. And you can see Jalen Brunson's like head down, kind of like, and he's like, another one. It was like fucking miracle. And the clip was Jalen on All the Smoke with Barnes and Stack saying like, my dad is the reason why I'm so mentally tough. Maybe this is an answer to your question. He was like, everyone said I was slow. Everyone said I was small. And like, I knew how to handle that because of my dad. But I was watching that video being like, your kid better make it to the NBA and make $250 million. Or you're a fucking asshole. Like, if I was doing that to my son right now, it would be like, I don't want to say abusive because that's a strong word, but it would be like, what are you doing, dude?
But I think that's also...
he has the pedigree, he has the DNA, he sees it in himself, whatever. There's absolutely no reason for me to think that my kid is going to succeed at a higher level, so I'm not going to, like, grind him. Maybe, this guy does. But, behind every one of those guys, mostly, there's the Earl Woodses and... Like, you look at, like, LeBron didn't have that, but I'm sure there were coaches. Like, I think behind a lot of those guys are probably a pretty tough father. And I think you have to make that decision.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, Brady's dad, I don't think is, like... Yeah,
but I bet you, like, just more so than the average. Like, when Keegan, like, if I'm like, hey, Keegan, you want to go play hoops? He's like, no, I want to play video games. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but that's
also
also,
should be
like...
No, let's go outside, kid. Let's shoot some jumpers. And I'm like, whatever.
But but I think that's, like... I it's a chicken or the egg, but I think also a lot of times it's like the kid wants it,
push it away from,
and is like, I want you to train me,
right?
Like, well, do you want me to train you? Like, I remember I was talking to my buddy about this actually the other day, where we were talking about Belichick, and he was like, we were talking about just like whether or not you'll rate all that shit, and he's like, when I heard that, like, he was always riding Brady, and then like 1 year in with Mac Jones, he was telling everyone to take it easy on Mac. Like, that pissed me off. And I was like, well, maybe that's just a great coach who knows
like which guy.
Well, he knows Brady fucking needs that, knows Mac can't take that, so he's doing what he can for his guys. And I was like, that sounds like what those dads are too, where it's like, I don't know, this is what my kid wants, this is what he or my kid wants to play video games, and that's fine too, but like you have to learn what you're dealing with and then do your best to facilitate.
Right. It is hard though, because it's like, I would like him to be great at sports. I think it's a good thing to have in your life, and I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of work. and I think there will be probably times where if he's going to get good, it would be like you have to put in extra. And if I'm the one telling you to do that and you don't want to do that, there's going to be moments where you're like, I fucking hate my dad. You know what I mean? And it's like, how much do you do that? I think that's a lot of what Greg Olson does with his career now, is like a lot of that shit. But
my soccer coach like trained us all to be kind of like almost like a movie coach, where he was like, you should be sleeping with your soccer ball, you should be walking around with it all the time. So that's what I did. I literally for years slept with my soccer ball. I like asked my mom, I carried like around the house, I kicked it everywhere, I brought it in the car with me. It was like the only time I didn't have it on me was at school, or like if I had to go whatever. And then when I got bad, I was like, well, now this is just embarrassing that I have this habit of like, I sleep with my soccer ball and I fucking am on the bench the whole time.
You better be good.
Yeah,
you better be good.
Now it's ingrained in me, so like I feel weird sleeping without my soccer ball, but I suck and like this isn't going anywhere. So I don't think it always breeds like good, you know?
That is very funny. Like, that is, there has to be some payoff, or you just look like a fucking idiot.
My whole room was like soccer posters and like writing being like, I will become the best soccer player ever. And I was like, well, damn, dude.
That's so devastating when you learn you have to put in work too.
Yeah. But I did put in work, and I would literally be like because he was like, you got to put in hours like after. So I would go and I would like I would put in so many hours juggling by myself, doing everything by myself. And then it was just like, I'm just still like, no, you actually just need talent.
Yeah.
I meant with the writing thing, because I also wrote the stuff, and it was just like, I've never been more certainty with my future in my life than I was in that moment.
When you were like, I'll be an NHL.
I will be in the NHL. I was like, done deal.
I wrote it down. It has to happen now.
Sit back and relax.
The rest rolls in, baby.
No one else knows about this little trick.
I mean, Shay is playing the guitar now, and she's like not practicing, and she's got these like blisters on her hands. I think I mentioned it the other day, and I was like, "Do you want to do this anymore?" And she was like, "Nah, not really." And then, but then all of a sudden, she flips the script, and she's like, "No, I really want to do it." So then I'm like, "Oh, I almost let you quit the other day. I almost called the teacher and said like we're done, and now all of a sudden you're all about it. So which fucking one is it?"
So Out of Order tickets, we have live show tickets on sale.
Barely.
And there's going to be stand-up, and there's going to be all kinds of stuff. I've already asked Owen. I want to ask Pavs. Can I do stand-up at it?
Yeah. Let's go!
Dude, no way!
Bro, I'm so pumped.
I'm going to do like 5 minutes. I'll go first, and then real comedians will be on.
I'm so happy you said that.
But I'm gonna try it.
Yes,
No.
let's go. Have you been working on it, or you?
No.
Okay, so I had told them this, and I failed to get it done in time. But I had told them this on an episode that you weren't there. It was supposed to be a birthday present for you. It's gonna be a late birthday present. I have been putting together all of the things you've said on this show that I think are good stand-up bits, and I have a book for you.
Shut up!
Of all this, it's like still in the process, but so it's like one of your notebooks, and every page has a premise or a story, or a bit that you said that I really cackled at. That I was like, that if you flesh that out and you work on that, that's a good stand-up bit. And if you use it, you don't use it, whatever.
That's honestly probably the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me.
I was working on it with Pabs because I was like, my goal. I've been pumping you up for so long now. I really, really, really think it's your time, and I think you would be amazing at it in your own way of doing it. But I was like, I just don't know if he'll start it. So I was like, maybe
this is such a cheat way to start. I'll do 5 minutes at the start of a sketch show live show.
No, whatever though. That's what I mean. That's why in your own way, because it's like, I think at least for me, like, I mean, I never thought about it seriously, but the first time that every comic was like, you got to eat shit for 15 years, I was like, I'm out. And I don't think you have to. I think you have these different avenues that you've been working on it in a different way, and you can do something like that. But I always thought the problem was like starting, and I think something like that would help you. So the book arrives today, and I
shut up, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's odd timing.
Yeah. Well, so the book, I'm just gonna give it to you now. I was gonna have someone like with this is fucking very hard to do. Make like a book with. I want it to be like nice font, nice writing and shit. So I wanted to like send it to someone and be like, "Can you write all these things for me on each page?"
I think you've already gone way above and beyond.
I'm just gonna write it down with my shitty handwriting and give it to you.
So nice.
Yeah, I wanted it to be like calligraphy or some shit like that, so it looked really nice. So
that would literally, I mean, it already is, but that, like, if it had been a complete surprise, it would be like literally the nicest thing anyone's ever done.
Well, what's funny is I said it like probably many months ago. So because I said it because I was like, if I say it, I might have a better chance of actually following through on something. And then I realized your birthday came and I just gave you the blobfish. It's like I had this plan for this really nice gift, and instead I ended up giving you something that was probably like $2.99. But these are all things that were like, I can't even remember them off the top of my head, but I got them. You got them? Yeah. So I just like little things where like I was dying laughing, being like, he just said that off the cuff, like just having a conversation about this, you just dropped some line that I'm like was so funny, or a premise that is so ridiculous, and you haven't even given that any work yet. That if you do that, I think you could have like an hour tomorrow if you really put all together all your stories. So you'll have that to work on at least.
That's really,
but
really.
I'm super pumped to hear that you're just ready to do it. Because I thought it was going to be something I was going to have to like physically push you on stage, and then I saw you do Tommy's thing, and I could tell that you were like kind of just feeling it, and you were like, I can do that, and I saw it coming, so I'm very happy to hear you're ready to do it.
I was talking to someone about it, and they were like, they kind of made it clear to me where I was like, oh yeah, because like I don't want to be a stand-up comic. Like, I don't want to do that.
Well, that's what I think, in your own way.
And he was like, I just like doing it because it's a useful skill for our job. The person works here, and they're like, if I wanted to be a comic, like most comics' end goal is what we already have.
Right.
So he's like, it doesn't really make sense to start, but he's like, but this makes me better at this, it makes me better at that. Totally. And I was like, all right, I kind of see the angle.
I also think, I mean, there's a whole other level of I mean, if you start to, I think live performance is when you listen to a podcast, I think people like it if you can see someone live and watch them really do like their shit like that. It's a whole other level. There's a difference between, I know what you're saying about like comics work for what this is, but there's a very big difference between our podcast and the top comics who also do a podcast.
Right. Well, I mean, like someone starting out in comedy.
Yeah.
Yes, your goal is to be Shane or Bert or Tom or Chappelle or whatever. But then your more realistic goal is to be like, I'd like a big following and a popular podcast.
Right.
With
Can sell some
ad
tickets.
reads
And
that's, you want to be Tom Brady, but realistically, like if I got a 3-year run in the NFL, it's great.
Right. Let me just make the league.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is something, I think it's the same thing about sports. Like, there's something about you that's just very funny.
Yeah.
Like, just more than the average person.
What the fuck was that?
What? I said,
We have a camera.
I said yeah.
Yeah, you went, yeah, but it looked like you smelled a fart. Like, yeah.
It was like yeah, we all know that.
No, it is like that. The Tommy thing crystallized it, where it was like they're trying to make you bad, and people are still loving this. And I don't know what it is, and I don't know if you've ever even noticed it, or maybe it's something you've been intentionally doing or whatever. But you have like a presence where it's just like, that's fucking funny. I don't know, you're a funny dude. It's like there are certain people that like the look, the act, the voice, the whatever. That's funny.
How much of it was like you're
and likable?
Fuck, I'm kind of good at this. Now I have to do something about it.
That night?
Yeah. Or just in general. Like,
I feel like
it was more fuck I had fun with it.
I think you were. I feel like there was a little bit of like that was easy. You said something to me kind of like, I don't know what all the fuss is about that. Like getting on stage and performing.
Well, yeah,
because
we've done it a million times.
I know, but I don't know. That's different. I would be very nervous to do. I mean, I used to be nervous on stage for our shows, and you weren't. So we're just different. Like that.
Yeah, we've done shows for 1,500 people. Like doing 30 people in a basement wasn't that nerve-wracking.
No, I feel like I always had like my safety blanket of you and like your stories and your humor to be like, kick it over if like things aren't going well. If you're alone, you're alone.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, you're just like, yeah, this isn't going well.
That's what I mean, though. You're like, I would have pit stains, and I'd be sweating, and I'd be like, this is not going well. Fuck. You'd be like, I don't know, this stinks, and people would laugh. They'd be like, that's funny. You just have, it's like you have a talent. You have like a feel for funny.
you're also good at like
All right, this is
yeah, I know.
No, but tickets. There's like probably 30 left in every city. Also, I want to be clear about one thing. The special guest. Maybe I'm in my own head on this. When we say special guests, I feel like people think like Shane or Bert or something. The special guests are people on the show. So if you're getting tickets,
okay. I would make that very clear.
You think Shane's
usually
coming or something like that?
Special guest is somebody else. Okay, that's we might want to clean up that that language because I would definitely expect other people. That's a good.
I mean, like people outside of the four of us or the six of us. Bars.
Francis.
There might be. Yeah, I don't know. I got maybe a couple in mind for Boston who don't work at Barstool, but we'll see. Like special guests are people who are on Out of Order.
Okay. That's
Jackie. Might not know. Jackie's a special guest.
No.
Oh no. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you're on. You're going on this.
We'll discuss this later.
I don't know if. I mean, I feel like you said you were always going to work at Barstool when you were younger, right?
I wanted to.
Like when Tommy is a funny one for me. When I first met Tommy and he was alarmingly stupid, I viewed him very incorrectly as he has grown to be now. I thought of him as like he's just like an intern who's an idiot and like I don't know, he was awkward and like Dave would just shit on him and he made him his bitch and like that was it. But then when he got funny and came out of his shell, I thought of it as like, oh my god, that guy who I thought was kind of like a wallflower is actually this really funny, charismatic dude. And then I come to know that he was like his whole childhood, he was like, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be... I used to film himself, and he told everyone...
I think those people are they're like theater kids. Like you ever like when like there's someone gets famous, and like I always knew, like I'd put on performances for my family when I was a kid. I'm like, don't tell people that.
I think Tommy won like most likely to be in Hollywood at school and shit like that.
Well, like a senior superlative.
Yeah. And So
But also, like, everyone did, like, put on performances for their parents when they were kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the thing is,
I
like,
disagree.
when you're like a little kid, you never
I
did.
could be wrong. I don't know.
That's what I mean. I bet you probably did it when you were like 5.
I know.
Once you're like a self-aware human, if you're like, "Hey, mom, dad, watch this," it's like you better. Again, that's like you better make it. Because otherwise you're just gay.
I've shared that opinion with my mom. With like the like what kind of fucking lunatic was putting on shows for their family, and she wasn't like you.
I could also see Polly being like, "Mom, I want to do this," and she'd be like, "Shut up. We're watching TV. We're actually watching actual entertainment." But my whole point being that like Tommy was a guy. I think Dave was a guy who was always like, "I'm going to be like famous, or I'm going to be in entertainment." And you kind of were that though. You were like, I'm gonna work at Barstool.
I
never had any visions of anything like that. It just happened. But
I just liked it. It was just like in high school I was a good writer. I really liked creative writing. I went to college for creative writing. I liked Barstool. I liked that stuff. But like, I wouldn't say I had I definitely didn't think I was gonna be famous. But I didn't, not that I am. But I didn't think. I basically don't think.
When you got well, that's yeah. So like when you got here, I mean, here it's so weird because especially like your travel is so weird because being under Dave in the beginning is just it's like it's not like fostering creativity and positivity. You know what I mean? He would
always just say, you know this. Where he's like, I can't tell you what works. I can tell you this doesn't. And he would be like, just be like me. Yeah. And so like I probably spent like 5 or 10 years just trying to write like Dave,
which is the worst advice somebody can get. Like it's absolutely like be yourself.
I remember like at the time I was still like a comment section reader. This is obviously still a Milton. Like I was still a comment section reader and stuff like that, and it'd be like this kid's just trying to be Dave. I'm like, that's what he's telling me to do. I don't know. This kid's trying to keep his fucking job. Is what he's doing.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. So it's very different when you go out like on your own in the beginning doing like stand up, and you're just like finding yourself versus like I have a job and this person's telling me do it this way, But I feel like not until Out of Order did you really like start to come into your own. But was there any point along the way where you started to be like, I'm good at this, or like I think I can do more than this, or bigger than this, and better than this?
I'm sorry, read it.
Like. Well, Out of Order is relatively new, and when that happened, I think is when I saw you. I think whether or not you even realized it, when the show was good, the feedback was good, people were giving you like, you can act, and I think that all came out. The music video, I think it all started. You were different,
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me now that you're like you want to try stand up and all that. But was there a time within the last 5, 6, whatever years where you were like doing the podcast being like, I think I can do more than this?
Not really.
You didn't have any plans to do it? You're just like,
I think like I was just kind of I think Out of Order definitely like changed things where it was like, oh, you're kind of good at this, and like I like it a lot. I think before I was like, all right, I'm the drunk guy who like tells funny stories.
Well,
and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, you can also do this a little bit. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll try that.
How did Out of Order even come about?
I don't remember. It was talked about for like years, not years, but a year or so. Like, cause I remember we had a meeting. I actually don't know if you were at it, at the Grace's, which is a bar, and it was like me, Sass, Nick, KB, Owen, and it was.
It helps to have other people around that are like-minded, because you like then it's like, oh, 4 of us can do this together. You're not alone, or what, you know what I mean?
But
so
obviously that was like before they moved to Chicago, so I don't really know when that was, but maybe 6 months to a year. Were you at that one?
I was at one at Grace's, yeah.
One, I think we had 2.
Me and Owen spoke at Smithfield Hall right down the road. He actually wasn't. I don't know. He was not working at Barstool at the time, and he was like, whether I come back or not, I'd love to work with Feits and you. So I was like, yeah, I guess I think
Owen might be a big part of the story.
Oh, humongous!
He's the one who.
Because I remember when he was not at Barstool, and we were talking about trying to get him back, and he was very into the whole like comedy angle, which that didn't materialize, but what did come out of that was Out of Order.
Yeah,
and I think having one person who can do it, one person who who sees the picture, one person who can do the editing. Like you just when there's a lot of hurdles and you're like by yourself, it's like I can't do this.
Right.
But all of a sudden it's like, oh, you can edit like a motherfucker, and he's doing the the producing, and then he can act. It's like, oh, there's actually something here. But
Have you acted in anything before?
No.
it's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's just like
I mean, like Making a Gambler.
Yeah. Okay.
And those were funny. Like those
were really funny.
It was just short lived, so you didn't get a chance to really like. But those were like people were like, oh, that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
And you were always great. I mean, at the live shows, you were always.
What are you doing right now?
I just want you to be. I think you have the chance to be like a star. I do. I really do. And I just want you to do it because I know how you think about yourself, and I want to make sure you do know like your potential. So.
Well, that's very nice of you.
We'll
to
start
say.
with 5 minutes. Yeah. Start with 5 minutes. The other thing I wanted to show, I guess are the Paralympics happening now?
I believe so. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the Paralympics, meaning you have some sort of disability. So this means I think like some guys don't have full legs, some guys don't have arms, some guys it's not, they're all not the same. It's just
Which
injured.
is crazy.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
But it would be crazier to have like, this is the legless race. This is the armless swim. This is
this is kind of my thing. This is part of why I want to bring this up. First of all, just to give this guy love because it's so fucking incredible. That second one there, this guy is like a motorboat. What? He is like a wind-up toy that just he does 50 meters, which is just one time down the pool. He might do others, but the thing he like really crushes is this thing. And but the other guys, like some of them have arms and are swimming. He doesn't have arms at all. He's just nothing, and he just kicks. And some of the other guys are kicking, and you know what I mean. It's all a mishmash.
Which is, I mean, like, isn't swimming? If I remember the Phelps years correctly, swimming is basically all upper body. You know, like your legs are.
I thought it was the opposite.
But like Guo Jincheng is challenging you on that one, bro.
Phelps, and again, I could be misremembering. I thought Phelps was built to be a swimmer because he had a very long torso,
right? Yeah.
And short legs and like big wide arms.
I mean, I would imagine your legs do play a big level in it, but okay, so he's like that. See that he's that guy bending over right now. He has no arms.
Without the arms.
Yeah, the guy without the arms. But a couple of them don't have arms. But I think he's the one in the black. Yeah, watch this fucking kid go. I don't know how old he is.
First thing that came to mind: putting on his Speedo.
Yeah, how's he do it?
Someone's putting on a Speedo, dude, getting real close.
Watch this, bro. He's just Look at him. Look at him in the middle though. Whoa. Look at that. Look how fast he's kicking. It doesn't stop. It doesn't slow down. And then watch how he finishes the race. Look at the water just coming off his head. He just comes up for air. And watch at the end here. It's unbelievable. He has not slowed down one bit.
I mean, he's probably like more aerodynamic.
Watch this. Bam! Oh my God. World record. Smashes him with his head. He did not, like most swimmers kind of have like you see the water like up and down. It was just. You're probably right though. He is more aerodynamic.
Is that world record for Paralympics or for?
For Paralympics.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming. Also, that race, I mean, everything I just said seems to be
I don't
validated.
know how much faster people could swim.
Yeah, like that looked pretty
What do Olympic world record 50 meters? I mean, it probably is, yes. But, like, that's as fast as someone can move in a pool I've ever seen. That guy was just like a motorboat.
One of the reasons why I can't swim is because, like, I'm not good at, like, multitasking. So, like, I can only move arms...
5 seconds faster?
Yeah. I can only move like arms at one time or legs at one time. So I switch off, and I've run this experiment, and legs are quicker than arms.
When you swim with just your
legs?
When
I swim with just my legs, it's quicker than when I.
Well, then it's definitive, Jackie.
I mean, it does like the four guys who were clearly faster than everyone else all had no arms.
Yeah.
That was like literally like a flipper that just didn't stop.
Yeah.
It didn't waver. It didn't slow down. It was just, that guy is going to be electric the next month. He's going to be a superstar.
How do you think the Speedo gets on?
That's such a good.
I think he jumps into it.
Yeah.
I think he probably has some sort of device that you put it on and you jump through it.
I think someone just puts it on.
You think
him.
he just has a guy?
But then there's no good way for that person to do it.
Because
you're ass naked. So either I'm on my knees at your dick, getting it on, or
It's like
yeah, or
That's
I'm
a tough-
behind you pulling it up. Like, there's no way for me to do that without molesting you.
you guys couldn't do it to each other because it's too late for you guys.
We missed our window.
Did you see what we should definitely talk about is the fucking Ryan Reynolds Glenn Powell quote? Did you see that?
Yes.
That's insane.
No, Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling got right.
No, what's that?
It was like some Hollywood studio executive said like Glenn Powell is like Ryan Gosling, only he also has appeal to women. I was like, Ryan Gosling has insane appeal to men.
Wait, what?
Like, I don't know a single guy who's not like, yeah, I fucking love Gosling. Maybe that's like my liberal East Coast bubble I'm in. But
he said Glenn Powell is Ryan Gosling, but has appeal to men.
yeah.
Oh.
Unlike an actor like Ryan Gosling, whose appeal is limited to female audiences, I would say it's strictly dudes that are obsessed with Ryan Gosling.
Again, maybe
He's
that's
for
just like
sure one
us
of 'em.
being in like a city and stuff like
No,
that.
like-
Maybe the middle America doesn't care about Gosling, but like everyone I know fucking loves Ryan
Gosling's
Gosling.
literally the meme where that's literally me because every
But
one of
that's
his
I think
characters
that's
is
like
so relatable.
isn't that like a fashion style meme?
No, that's like a.
I mean, no. Listen, I could see middle America guys not being like, I love Ryan Gosling.
Right.
I could see that, but I also can see them doing it. Like, I think there's enough. I think that's a wildly inaccurate. Too.
I think that's a very dumb.
I
statement.
can but I get kind of what he's saying. That like Ryan Gosling came on the scene as the Notebook guy, as the heartthrob for girls.
Yeah,
and we
as
also grew to
Disney
like him.
Club or Mickey Mouse Club.
Right. Glenn Powell is kind of coming on the scene, I think, a little more like Twisters.
Rough and tough. Yep.
Yeah. So that makes sense, but I think it's just worded poorly.
Yeah. His roles are more like blockbuster,
Tough guy.
summer, like I'm the hot,
Charismatic.
like quiet guy. Like whereas Gosling does those, but Gosling also does fucking weird movies. He also does romance. Like
Well, that's where I think people like us, like
What's
I think
that
it's
weird movie
I think
with
it's amazing
Gosling?
that he can do La La Land.
yeah.
And I think there are, guys in middle America driving their F-250 who don't give a fuck about that. who think Glenn Powell is like cool, So
it is dumb. But I do see what he's saying. But it is like again, everyone I know is like, if I could be anybody, I'd be Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. There's I think Ryan Reynolds has recently taken a little bit of a hit. He was he's still one of those guys though. I think his shit's running a little bit thin these days.
Yeah.
But like he's won, Gosling's won. I mean, of course you just want to be all these people, but there's like certain guys that it was just like he's the best. He's the fucking best, Like you want to be Brad Pitt too, but for whatever reason, it's just a different type of fame. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. It's certainly none of it's attainable. So I don't want to be like Brad Pitt's not attainable and these guys are. But there was just something more about it where it's like maybe it's just they're funny. They do
But
more
Brad
humor.
Pitt's so funny.
He is funny too, but he made his bones 7, Fight Club, fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Gosling, it was like he's really fucking funny and charming and Crazy Stupid Love. Like there's something.
Is Brad Pitt funny?
Brad Pitt? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever.
Oh yeah.
yeah. He also has. I like don't even want to say it. That's how good his PR team is. But like he's got like the best PR team in Hollywood.
Yeah,
In the
I-
world.
Bro, that just went.
I don't know what we're talking about, but
Angelina Jolie must be furious. Furious.
I think it's one of those things where like it could be. I don't know, but like his daughter will not have contact with him and changed her name from Pitt.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Like the day she turned 18, she changed her name to I
And
think
it's
Shiloh
just like,
Jolie.
It's just
Shiloh
like
something.
Brad
Is it
Pitt's on
Shiloh?
the red carpet. Hey, what do you, tell us what you're wearing. It's like his ex-wife and daughter are like, we want to kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, the best PR in the world. I also don't think. I think you can hire the right PR. Like what's his face getting Johnny Depp's team, and like there are definitely people who know how to do it. I also just think sometimes it's just like. Sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it might be because of you. It might be because of a move you made. It might be because of a move your publicist made. But it also just might be the internet that day or the internet that year, what was going on. Like sometimes shit just, people just don't care. And sometimes they care. I don't know what it is.
Justin Baldoni hiring Johnny Depp's PR team made me think less of that and more like, oh, it's more strategic than we think. Because like the way that everyone just turned against Blake Lively.
I think him hiring her is a point for him.
Yeah, well, like
Is that what you? Is that
I
what
think
you mean?
he won.
No, but I meant like people were like, he's hiring that team because he knows he did something, and it's like I think Johnny Depp was vindicated. I mean, did some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But I think that guy was like, I'm gonna go get the guy who, or the woman, I think it was, who saved the guy who was getting railroaded by the chick.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was very like, oh yeah, Blake Lively is trying to fuck him over, and he's going to get the lawyer that knows how to stop that. But a lot of people were like, he's lawyering up with that person. That means he did some shit. And I was like, I think it's the total opposite.
Yeah, I never know how that stuff really works. We're like,
I mean, of course,
but like, I mean, like, I never even know how to feel about it. Where you're like, well, they got the best lawyer. Like, yeah, wouldn't I get the best lawyer?
Yeah. Well, it's very Gone Girl. You know, it's like if you don't cry, you didn't show emotion. You murdered her.
Right.
And if you do cry, you're putting on a show.
Yeah.
So you're
Is
fucked
it
either way.
suspicious if I refuse to represent myself? Like,
Right. Yeah. What am I supposed to do here? Yeah.
I have the money for the best lawyer. I'm gonna get the money for the best lawyer.
And of course, it's like, yeah, I could get another one, but I'm gonna go get the one that like just did this and knows the playbook.
Right.
Like, I do think part of it was like, yeah, he lawyered up with that person, and like the next day all those other Blake Lively things came out. I don't think that's coincidence.
Well, like that's what I'm saying is like that made me think that PR, like I always thought like PR, like at the end of the day it's just like how you deal with it and like the kind of person you are, if you're likable or not. But now I think it's
I think it's important. I think it can be. I think like those interviews stuck. People did not like that.
Yeah.
I think her answers even were like fair in some regard, but it was not well received. Like people saw that and their immediate reaction was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And whoever knew about that to put that out, that like I think PR made a big difference there. I still think it is probably like 50-50. Like a huge part of it is how you just handle it and what the world thinks of it. But I think there are moves that like certain PR people make. But he won.
Yeah.
She got steamrolled, man.
Tickets are on sale for Out of Order. We're going live. We're going to New York, Philly. Nope. We're going to New York, Philly, Boston. Get your tickets now. They are on sale. It's going to be live stand-up, obviously. Unreleased sketches are going to be shown. Talking behind the scenes of old sketches, showing old classics, and just doing a good old-fashioned show. Come out. Come see us. It'll be fun. I promise. Talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Click that button.
Or I'll cut off my finger.